This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Live from Chicago, it's Bleck and Abdalla. And how about that, Abdalla? Shedeur Sanders killed the Pro Bowl.
Oh, don't do that.
Well, I mean, isn't that exactly what happened?
No.
Last year, he made the team as like the 15th alternate at quarterback in the AFC. And people looked around and said, what the hell are we doing? There's no reason to do this anymore.
He was the cameraman.
What's the point of this?
He was running around with a camera filming people.
No. We got to the point where every quarterback in the conference did not want to participate in the Pro Bowl games, which is not even an actual football game anymore. It used to be. It used to be a football game. It's not anymore. They had the Pro Bowl games, which was like some flag football crap that they served up. You and I were at the Super Bowl this year.
We were.
We were in San Francisco.
We were.
We were staying blocks away from where they were holding the Pro Bowl games. We were offered to attend. Mm-hmm. We had credentials. We could have gone for free.
We could have.
I would have rather just walked around the city, and that's exactly what I chose to do.
Yeah.
And then we saw the highlights of Shedeur Sanders playing, and it's like, this is exactly why we didn't want to go to this crap.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm glad it's over with. Yesterday, the NFL decided to do away with the Pro Bowl game. Instead, 88 players will be deemed Pro Bowlers. They will get the honor of being named Pro Bowlers. There still will be some form of celebration if you want to show up to the site of the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl will be played in Los Angeles. Super Bowl 61 will be played in Los Angeles, so you can still go to the celebration if you want to. There will be, if you decide not to go, they won't name someone else in your honor instead.
God.
So if you don't go...
Is there anyone left breathing in the AFC that wants to be a quarterback for this?
If you don't go, it's not like they're going to go to the 89th and 90th player. You're just going to be a Pro Bowl. And I remember...
Thank God.
Talking to countless Pro Bowlers, obviously retired players and and Hall of Famers and
some current players
that we said, you are a 3-time Pro Bowler. You were an 8-time Pro Bowler. What does it mean now? And like the size that we got, the eye rolls that we got, it doesn't mean anything anymore. I take it off my resume now. Guys were not necessarily ashamed, but they say, I would like to say that I'm an all-pro. When I put on my resume now, I say all-pro instead. I leave off the fact that I was a 3-time Pro Bowler, or I leave off the fact that I was a 5-time Pro Bowler, because it doesn't mean anything anymore. It
used to.
It used to.
One of those names I recall at the Super Bowl that we talked to was Demario Davis, 2-time Pro Bowler.
Mm-hmm.
He's also first-team All-Pro player.
Yep.
But 2-time Pro Bowler, that's noticeable. He made it seem to us that, like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing now is a joke, and it has been a joke. And I understand. Like, I'm not going to start today's show going on a rant saying, I wish sports were the way they used to be. I think I used up that juice yesterday on my rant on the ESPN doing away with the bottom line score ticker during college football games. It still irritates me, but we don't have to get into that today.
You're still wrong.
So I would say the Pro Bowl thing, to me, I'm not going to go down that path because I understand why we've gotten to the place that we've gotten to in professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
The athletes make way too much money to offer up anything to make these exhibition games worthwhile. So that's one. If the players are not going to try and they don't care, then there's nothing you can do about it. The toothpaste is out of the tube. You're not putting it back.
They try in baseball.
Yeah. We can talk about the different sports.
Mm-hmm.
The point being is in football, 40 years ago, going to Hawaii and playing in the Pro Bowl was cool. It was cool. And players wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Players wanted to be there. They wanted the week of Hawaii. They wanted to sit by the pool.
Man.
They go through their walkthroughs with their teams, and they would give half effort out there on the field. It wasn't full, but it was half. And they would play, in air quotes, a football game, an exhibition. It wasn't terrible. You and I remember and recall growing up watching Pro Bowl games where some players were trying. Some were trying. Sean Taylor almost killed a punter.
Did.
In a Pro Bowl
Almost
once.
killed a man.
If you've never seen the highlight, you got to go watch it. It's one of the best jacked up highlights ever.
Jacked up.
I mean, Sean Taylor to the sideline, punter, DOA. I mean, that's what it was. He lived. He was fine. But it was a great hit, and that was in an exhibition game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, there were moments back in the day. I understand why it has no value now. I understand, like, that's where leagues trying to change things, because it does feel impartial that the reasoning for changing is, one, the players don't care. Two, they're desperately trying to get young people to be involved and want to watch these things. So then they're like, oh, what do young people like? Okay, what if we turn it into flag football? It's like, well, no one cares about that. We want to see our NFL players play professional football. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see some fake artificial game. Now, I also grew up in an era in the 90s where they also had something that was cool. It was a TV show called The Quarterback Competition. That was fun. Seeing all the quarterbacks out there throwing long passes, trying to be accurate with the targets, all the different stuff. Like, that stuff was fun. I believe a lot of that stuff was always filmed around the Pro Bowl and the end of the season events where everyone was together. So, I mean, listen, it's not going back to the way it was. This was a smart decision. I've been saying it for years. Just name the Pro Bowlers. Now, 88, I don't know how you get to that number. Does that mean you go 4 deep on every position of offense, defense? Are there no special teamers?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how do you get to 88?
Well, you've got to name a kicker or two. You've got to name a punter or two.
Okay, so then it's not 4 deep for the 11 on offense and defense.
No.
So then you're doing what? You go 3 deep for position?
3 deep, a few core. I don't know. You see what
I'm saying?
Here's
Like,
my thing. I don't know.
Is it
And
2
also,
deep per conference on each side of the ball?
Chris, let me tell you something here.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. I don't care.
Wait.
No. I don't care. I don't care. Because here's the thing. We have these things called All-Pro. And the All-Pro means more than Pro Bowl. It just does. It does.
Yeah, but there was some weight to being a Pro Bowl player. There was an acknowledgement of a great season by a player.
There isn't anymore.
That's not true. No. That's not true. When we get to December and they announce the Pro Bowl players, that's always a tip of the cap to the end of the season, to those who are playing well. If your team is heading towards the playoffs, if you think you have Super Bowl aspirations, it's cool to see not 3, but maybe 5, maybe 6 Pro Bowlers.
You're lucky
that's a cool thing that people look forward to towards the end of the season.
You're lucky that I just remembered that we're on YouTube, youtube.com/Bleck and Abdalla show, because I almost made a hand gesture because I don't care.
I think you can make the gesture on YouTube.
I don't know,
Go for it.
and I don't care.
Give it a try. See what you got.
I don't care. All right?
Use both if you need to.
I don't care who's a Pro Bowler. I don't care who's being nominated. I don't care if they show up to LA at some banquet or some reception or whatever celebration. I don't care if they get a medal or a little trophy or a bonus. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. The fact that they're doing away with the games. I didn't matter if they didn't do away with the games. It doesn't matter to me. None of this matters to me. It doesn't. If you wanted to do something where you had, because the NFL has got this huge initiative of flag football, and they're trying to field flag football teams. And all of these players are saying, we want to win a medal. I want to go to the Olympics. I want to be in LA for the Olympics. And I want to participate, and I want to win a medal. Okay. And then you've got on the other side, you've got all these professional flag football people that are like not so fast NFL players. You don't know the rules. And you think you can just come in because you're the best of the best at regular football. You can just come in and win at flag football. Let me see Pro Bowlers. You want to see, let's do some pros versus Joes. No. And you want Pro Bowlers against professional flag football. That I would watch. Let's do a tryout for the Olympics. Let's do that. That I would watch. And then you get to make the roster for the Olympics. That I would watch. See,
the amount of care that you have for naming a Pro Bowl roster, I don't care about that.
That I would watch because that's for medals.
Who cares about that?
That's at least for something.
It's new. It's a new medal. Who cares?
All these guys seem to care about it.
Do you care about the breakdancing medal that they brought into the Olympics for the last
No, because America
Olympic?
didn't. No, because America didn't win it.
What about like all of the like skateboarding ones and all that stuff?
Did America
all the
win?
stuff that they entered into
Did
the
Amer-
Olympics after the X
Did
Games
Amer-
got hot.
Did America win it?
I don't know. I don't care.
I only care if America's going to win it.
I think Shaun White won a couple of something.
Then I care. America.
Snowboarding,
America.
skateboarding,
America.
flying tomato.
Whatever helps our medal count.
Well, you think either way with professional NFL players or not that the U.S. is going to struggle with the flag football competition in the Olympics in 2028?
I think we struggled at baseball, so.
I think baseball, the way it's played around the world, is a little different than the.
I'm just
than
saying
football.
America's pastime, not the best at, which we should be.
I just think when we look at this, like, I get why they didn't look to expand this. Now, at some point, maybe they bring something back. I don't know. I think it's done. I think the Pro Bowl is just done overall.
Good.
I don't think it will ever come back. You know, you look at the other sports. You mentioned baseball. The baseball, the Midsummer Classic, the All-Star Game, the Home Run Derby still works.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We watched it. It was good this summer.
Yes.
There's no complaints. Like, sure,
Yes.
you if you want to argue something that's kind of lame about the baseball All-Star break, it's like, do you really need a cap from every team? You really need the, like, sorriest team in the league to have someone there who's just a reliever just to say,
Yeah.
you got a Pirates hat there.
You know why? Because you got to sell a
or
jersey.
a Marlins hat. Like, no one cares about that.
You got to
Like,
sell a jersey and a hat from every team.
but
That's why.
baseball works. Baseball is also a sport that you can go one-on-one, a pitcher and a batter, and you can theoretically give an effort without going max.
But that's the thing is,
it's possible.
but you can't, as a pitcher, you can't half-ass a pitch. You'll get hurt.
Well, sure, and,
You know
and
what I
that's
mean?
why the pitchers the last couple of years in the All-Star games have dominated.
I like that. But I like that. Like the one thing you can half-ass is like
Wasn't
the
it like
NBA
a
All-Star
2-1 score this year, or a 3-1?
Yeah,
it was low scoring.
It was low scoring. And like you can half-ass the NBA All-Star game, and people always argue like, oh, should we do away with the NBA All-Star game? And like people still watch, and it's like, okay. And we talk about every NBA All-Star break. Should we finally get rid of the dunk contest? And people don't like the dunk contest. We've seen every dunk imaginable. There are no new
We've
dunks.
Seen them all.
Only,
Every dunk. No new
the,
dunks.
The 3-point contest to the end and replace that with the dunk contest and move that around. And it's okay. It's fine. It's what, half an hour out of the night? Who cares? Like people spend more time complaining about the dunk contest than the actual dunk contest takes place.
I don't know. They take a long time to get off those dunks.
Still,
it takes forever.
The
dunk contest kind of sucks
now. The amount of air that is wasted complaining about the dunk contest spends more time than the actual dunk contest takes place.
If I had to guess, I would guess at some point the NBA, if they keep tinkering and trying to change, and Adam Silver thinking that he can change the All-Star game into something that is worthwhile, I think if they're not careful, the NBA All-Star game will soon be what the Pro Bowl has turned into.
No, if Adam Silver has his way, what it'll turn into is penalty kicks.
It will turn into penalty kicks with group play, and it will take place overseas. Because if Adam Silver really could have his dream, he would turn the NBA
into soccer,
into European soccer. That's what it would be. He would have relegation. He would have have stars that are just,
it's LeBron in goal.
Yeah, it's just. If he had his way, that's what he would turn the NBA.
Luka lining up for a penalty kick.
Because if Luka's taking a PK, you know that he's one of those idiots that does the little stutter step right before the ball.
Oh, you know
that he's waiting and he's getting right up to the ball, and then he does the long pause and then the whiff. He's not just putting that into the back top corner.
You know he has these.
Right?
Oh, man.
Like I could see Anthony Edwards in a PK. He's just burying that
right
as
down
hard
the
as he can, right in the back of the net. Luka's getting up there getting cute. He's doing the little footy steppies right before, and then the big pause, and then the kick. And
you got to have Wembanyama in goal just because of size, like sheer size. He's just out there with his 12-foot wingspan, just touching each side of the post, just like this, so nobody can do anything.
The poor guy goes to dive to his left or right and hits his head on the post.
And he's got to wear one of those helmets that some of the soccer goalies have had to wear.
It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Bleck and Abdalla on the air, also on SiriusXM channel 375 and all our great radio affiliates around the country, live from Chicago each and every day. On the air until 3 Eastern. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910 with Bleck and Abdalla. Raj Sharon was on jury duty yesterday. He's back today.
Hey.
Raj, this is how we start a show. You asked us, what are we doing right now? This is how you start a show.
I did not think I survived and came back to hear how NBA players would do in a penalty kick competition. But yet, here we are.
This is what the Pro Bowl games will turn into.
What's going on? By the way, I had no context of this. I wound up on a group text with the two of you and Josh Graham for all of our listeners. But somehow we were discussing how I would do in jail yesterday. I guess this is where the show went.
That was on Abdalla. Abdalla's the one that took us down that path.
I said, because you were on jury duty, you said that you was declared a mistrial.
Yeah, I got picked. I wound up on the jury. They began the case, and I'm like, oh boy, how long is this going to go? And then it didn't wind up going
was going to be
at all.
sequestered for like 6 months.
I took
I
that
thought it might
as
be. I didn't know.
Your trial was called a mistrial, and I was like, good. Raj got off. Phrasing.
Easy.
They declared a mistrial. Murder was the case, but he got a mistrial. He got off scot-free. He's got a good lawyer because I didn't think Raj would do well in prison. I just, Raj, the first day, I just don't think that, you only do 2 days in prison, Raj, first day and the last day.
Here's where I think you're wrong, just based on this. I'm going to quote one of our home team from Office Space. I have good networking skill.
You do have
and so
good
I think my good
skills.
networking skill would help me in that environment. By the way, speaking of that, I think that's why I wound up on the jury. Another person from home team had a hardship for child, so they excused him. And I think that's why I wound up on the jury. I think I was the token.
You were the token brown guy. Yeah.
I think I was token brown guy.
Mm-hmm. Well done, Raj.
Good for you.
They asked me
Well
no
done.
questions, and somehow I wound up on a 6-person criminal jury. How does
Doing
that
your
happen?
civic duty. Good for you.
all
Was
done.
it? I know you can't give details. Was it a fascinating case?
It was actually super serious. It will actually I'm kind of curious to
A series episode.
Special
learn
episode
a special
how
episode
of
Bleck and
Raj on
Abdalla.
jury.
Oh no.
how this will play out. I guess they'll set a new date and there'll be a new jury. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Okay. All right.
That said, I tried to make it back in time for Stockwatch. We didn't have the mistrial in time. I was looking at the clock. I was like, I might be able to make it in time to ask them. And Michael panics, are we buying or selling? But instead, I wound up on the jury.
Yes, because that's more important.
Yeah.
It's more important than your civic duty.
Your
Clearly.
duty as an American citizen.
Clearly.
I've never been called. I've been told to call, and then the night of or the morning of, you call, and then you never have to
They
go.
say thanks,
so.
but no thanks. Yeah.
Okay, a bizarro story. I forgot to tell you guys this before the show. So, 15 years ago, when I got picked for jury duty the first time, and I also went up on the jury, so I'm 2 for 2, which is crazy. I was producing Joel Klatt at the time, and
Love
the
Joel
next
Klatt.
day, Joel is just grilling me on air about the trial, wanting, and it wasn't even a very serious case, that one, just grilling me, and that's always my memory when I think of that first jury experience. It's not actually doing jury duty; it's the
Right.
next day, Klatt just having a field day.
Yeah.
So
Content.
last night, I finished up jury duty. I met my wife and my daughter for dinner. We sit
Wow.
down. I look up at the bar, and Joel is on TV on FS1 with, I think, RG3. They were doing some special.
Yeah,
and I just said to
I saw
Amanda, I'm
that.
like, look who's on TV. My wife, Amanda. And she turns around and she's like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, no, what a world.
It's all right, Raj. We won't grill you. You told us what the case was
There you
about
go.
before the show, and yes, it is
Token
a,
juror,
quite-
home team
quite
of Abdalla,
depressing.
it is
token.
a serious case.
Yeah,
so yes,
yeah.
we won't
Yeah,
have
it was a
laughs
serious
and
case, yeah.
giggles about that. But yes, good to have you back, Raj. Fantastic.
Good to be back.
And yes, to answer your question, we started today's show by talking about what if NBA players had to take penalty kicks in soccer. Yes, that's how we drew it up before the show, and that's I don't know how we got there. I don't know how that happened. Something about the Pro Bowl and Shitter Sanders ruining the Pro Bowl.
Wouldn't you watch a Pro Bowl if the Pro Bowlers had to play another sport?
You know what I just realized, guys? Without the Pro Bowl, we will not see the AFC NFC merch that we were talking about when we were at Super Bowl.
See?
We had
See?
never seen this before. They were
Great merch,
selling
man.
AFC and NFC merch. And
Merch.
You think that they're not going to put that up for sale?
Merch grabs.
who's buying the NFC hoodie? Who's like, you
Yes.
know what, man? The AFC, I'm
repping
not
the
down with that.
conference.
But Bears,
I'm repping the
Packers,
conference,
Lions, that's
bro.
me.
That's my conference. Let's
That's
go.
my conference. I remember because Flacco was there because he was one that got called up. And he had he has a ton of kids and they were wearing all the merch. That's what I remember. They were all walking around with the Team AFC Pro Bowl merch.
So pour one out to the Pro Bowl as the NFL will just announce 88 players. Not sure how that's going to work, but 88 players will make the Pro Bowl. There will be no game moving forward in the NFL. As we approach cutdown day in the NFL, could some big names hit the list and hit the market? We talked about J.J. McCarthy yesterday. Could McCarthy get cut? We'll talk about some of those names coming up next. Football is back, and something big is coming on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives.
New DraftKings customers sign up with code BNA26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That includes all markets.
That's code BNA26 for Bleck and Abdalla 26 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut. Call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involve risk of loss. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. $50 in rewards issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable. Terms at dkng.co/offer. Limited time offer. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
College football is back this weekend. Headlined by Bill Belichick in North Carolina facing TCU. And we've got the game live from Dublin, Ireland. So grab a Guinness and listen on the Westwood One Sports app. TCU, Carolina, Saturday at noon Eastern. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
It was floated out there yesterday by Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk that maybe, based on what we've seen this week at Vikings training camp, that J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz, because they're splitting the second-team reps, and yesterday J.J. McCarthy had a day off for rest. They're expecting McCarthy to still play. I believe it's Friday night, the game against Denver, I believe is what we were talking about. So because of the splitting of the reps this week of the second team, is it possible that J.J. McCarthy could get cut or released on cutdown day around the National Football League? I mean, for Minnesota, Kyler Murray's your starter. If you, as Kevin O'Connell, look at Carson Wentz as a viable backup, I think it is possible. I think it would be a shocking development for the Vikings to kind of go down that path. But it is definitely something people are talking about here as we head into the final weekend of preseason games.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I still don't believe it's going to happen. Even if he plays poorly, I don't think it's going to happen because you still have an entire season. You've already paid him. That money's guaranteed this year. It's so out of the realm of possibility because Carson Wentz is still up there in age. I think there's still value in J.J. McCarthy from a trade standpoint. Kyler Murray can get hurt this year. You can still put in J.J. McCarthy. He can still be a viable option as a backup. I just think there's too much value even next offseason for J.J. McCarthy. So I just don't see it happening this year that he gets cut.
Yeah, neither do I. I just, it is certainly something to keep our eyes on over the next few days as the cutdowns will start to take place around the National Football League. NFL.com has the list up as, as teams set their 53-man rosters and the deadline is around the corner. Who are some of the big names around the NFL that could be released? In New York, could Odell Beckham Jr. not make the team? I think right now it seems like he's going to make the Giants.
Yeah, they had an injury yesterday or on Wednesday or Tuesday, and
Monday
or Tuesday.
Sunday?
Tuesday.
What about Saturday?
What day is it today? Saturday? It's Saturday, right?
Go ahead. Don't mind
And
me.
all the reports were that it left an opening for Odell Beckham Jr. to make the roster. And even if, look, John Harbaugh loves Odell Beckham Jr. He had him on the roster a couple of years ago. And even if it's only for a few routes a game, even if he only has a couple targets a game, even if he doesn't catch anything, Odell Beckham Jr. can still make this roster. He's been playing pretty decent at camp, so I think he's going to make this roster. I don't think he's going to be cut. I think because of the injury, he's going to be able to make this roster.
It's a big dude.
Yeah, John Harbaugh. It's a big dude. Yeah,
It's a big dude.
Absolutely. Another name on the list for possible names that could be released. What about with the Raiders? The Raiders quarterback room. We know with Kirk Cousins and we know with Fernando Mendoza that Mendoza should be the starter. Now, the Raiders play tonight. Clint Kubiak, I believe at the moment, all three quarterbacks, Aiden O'Connell, Kirk Cousins, and Fernando Mendoza are all possible to play tonight. Although Cousins may not play or may only play like a series.
Yeah.
So it's up in the air at the moment. And I know that Clint Kubiak talked about it recently, how the offensive line, when you look at the offensive line, that the health of the offensive line has not been a reason to not start a certain quarterback. So we don't know with that situation. With that said, could Aiden O'Connell be released from the Raiders?
Well, I don't think so, because to me, the only reason you would release Aiden O'Connell is if you're sure that both those guys are going to stay healthy, and you're not because of the health of the offensive line. And he said it. If the health of the offensive line isn't great, then you're not sure how long Kirk Cousins is going to stay healthy, which means if Kirk Cousins doesn't stay healthy, you're going to have to put in Mendoza, which means if Mendoza goes in, you're not going to have another backup there. So I think they're going to carry three quarterbacks. I was reading today, looking into how long Mendoza would play, whether or not Kirk Cousins was going to play tonight. The belief in Vegas is that they are probably going to keep three quarterbacks and keep Aiden O'Connell and keep three quarterbacks on this roster at the sacrifice of another position on their 53, and keep three quarterbacks or keep an emergency quarterback or whatever it is and keep three guys. And Mendoza will be, they listed their depth chart going into the third preseason game into tonight. And, Cousins was 1, Mendoza was 2, and Aiden O'Connell was listed as the third quarterback right now.
Yeah, and that's where Kubiak's comments, like people say, well, you can't start the rookie because the offensive line isn't fully healthy. And the comments that Kubiak has made to the media is that we're not looking at it like that. We're not saying, oh, well, we have to have the offensive line completely healthy before we start the rookie quarterback. Now, Nick Costos hosts before us each day on Westwood One Sports. You bet. Nick Costos. He has thoughts on AOC.
And I don't care where you lean politically, AOC's hot. Just saying.
I thought he was talking about Aiden O'Connell.
And I don't care where you lean politically, AOC's hot. Just
Listen,
saying.
if he can get hot, maybe he can take over the backup role,
what
right?
What are they doing on the show before us here on the network?
Maybe he
and
can.
I don't care where you lean politically, AOC's hot. Just
Not
saying.
that AOC. Okay, not Aiden O'Connell.
The other AOC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she going for a run?
And I don't care where you lean politically, AOC's hot.
Was
Just
she
saying.
in the video where she goes, "Don't be weird"? Was she specifically talking to Costos?
She might have been.
Don't be weird.
She might have been. She might have been telling him not to be weird.
And I don't care where you lean politically, AOC's hot. Just saying.
Costos, and then Chris Mack's always filling in for Costos.
Today.
Yeah, shout out Chris Mack.
Already been beating it all summer long.
Okay, all right.
We
all right.
of us have been trying to get to football season, man.
We're just counting down the days.
Already been beating it all summer long.
I mean, so if it's Chris Mack,
Already been beating it all summer long.
or Nick Costos,
And I don't care where you lean politically, AOC's hot. Just saying.
there's something going on the show that airs before Bleck and Abdalla weekdays right here on the Westwood One Sports Network. There's something going on.
Do women find
Something's
Justin
in the
Herbert
water.
to be very attractive?
Something's in the water, man.
There's something taking place on the show that airs before us each and every day here on the Westwood One Sports Network. So, yes, that's not the AOC we're talking about. We're talking about Aiden O'Connell. Don't be weird. Okay, some other names that could possibly be released here as cutdowns take place around the NFL. In Chicago, could Roschon Johnson be released? Now, that's been a hot topic locally for the last couple of training camps. It was surprising he made the squad last year. It does feel like he's had a decent camp from what I can gather being here in Chicago, is that Roschon Johnson is a good second option to what they have with Kyle Monunga in the backfield.
And look, DeAndre Swift is a good running back. He's also getting up there in age. Kyle Monunga has been dealing with some health issues in training camp. So it doesn't hurt to have Roschon Johnson on this roster right now, since you know that Kyle Monunga has been dealing with those health issues throughout the last couple weeks of training camp.
I think the way people would put it there is he's a good special teamer too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So that helps while making a roster. The Eagles, what about quarterback position of Andy Dalton? Dalton's there as a backup. Could Dalton be released?
That I could see. He's also one of those guys that's like, quote, good in the room too. And so I don't see all these guys, they like having a third quarterback. All these teams like having the third quarterback, the veteran quarterback that's, quote, good in the room. So, and once you lose that guy, other teams always want to pick him up, because you look at some of these quarterback rooms around the NFL, a lot of them are lacking a good backup. Like, look at the Chargers backup. Like tonight, you're going to watch the Chargers. It's like Trey Lance. And you don't think that Andy Dalton would, like, the Chargers would scoop up Andy Dalton like that, you know? So cutting these guys is at a risk of another team picking them up. I think that teams are more likely to keep three quarterbacks on their roster just as a risk of another team scooping them up fast.
The last name that's very notable on this list on NFL.com, possible names that could be released when the roster's cut down around the National Football League. What about in San Francisco with Christian Kirk? He's been rehabbing a calf injury. Is that something that could be up in the air, that Kirk could be out? He could be released. You know, Mike Evans is there. Debo Samuels is there. They've got some options. Could Kirk be on his way out?
Look, I wouldn't be eliminating anybody. I wouldn't be getting anybody off the roster right now if I was them, because you need all the bodies.
You think the electrical substation could zap someone else, huh?
You need all the bodies that you can, just in case the electrical substation claims another, and you need someone else to step in. And the substation needs a fresh sacrifice.
You never know when it's going to
some fresh meat.
Fry someone's brain as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know how that's going to go.
Already been beating it all summer long.
Easy. It's probably what it is.
All right. That's enough out of you.
It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. Could interlocking fingergate not even be the biggest distraction the Patriots face as they head towards the opener of the regular season? We'll explain that coming up next.
Tonight may be the last time this year we see first-round QBs Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson. Will the rookies leave a lasting impression to close out the preseason? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Throughout the offseason, there was one major story that took place of something off the field that the New England Patriots, a part of the conversation of this story with Mike Vrabel and whatever the relationship was or is with Diana Rossini, the conversation about that story was a part of it about how big of a distraction this would be to the Patriots when we get to the season, when we get to training camp, when we get to football. All of that conversation was pointless because it does not seem as if it was a distraction whatsoever. Outside of Mike Vrabel not being there for day 3 of the NFL draft, not being in the draft room because he was on a retreat with his wife, he's been fully present. Yeah. The Patriots are full steam ahead going towards the start of the NFL season. And I don't think it's been a distraction one bit.
No, it absolutely hasn't been. And that's what we've been saying all along, that once you get into training camp and once the team starts these activities and teams start the drills and everything in the flow of the football season, all this stuff kind of goes away. And once the reporters stop asking about it and nothing else comes to light, like that's the thing. No new information has been put out there. There's been no new news. None. There's been nothing. And until there is, everybody just kind of moves on.
Thank you. That's what I was saying. Like who said? I mean, it clearly seems like the four parties involved, the two couples,
Yeah.
that everything kind of moved along.
Yeah.
So who knows what the agreement was? It could have been anything.
Well, that's
It could have been something. It could have been anything.
Yeah.
So I mean, yes.
Okay.
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
I mean, it was hot and heavy for a moment.
It was?
Not that. I'm saying the coverage. The coverage
Well,
of
it's
all
every
of the
day.
different, where are they at? Whoa, they were renting a boat. They were doing this.
They were in a bar.
They were on this rooftop. They were here. They were there. Fingers were interlocked.
Oh, yeah. They were everywhere.
I still have yet to see that ever take place. I have never seen two people put their hands together like that before.
An interlock?
I've never seen that.
No.
I mean, at the end of the Odyssey,
There's a little bit.
when he reaches out, when Matt
Spoiler
Damon
alert.
reaches out to Zendaya, when that happens and the hands come together, in the theater, I thought to myself, that's the Vrabel Rossini.
Spoiler alert.
That's I didn't tell you what happens.
Well,
I mean,
just
it's
saying.
a story that's been around for 3,000 years. I think we're good. I don't think I'm spoiling a thing.
If you got to the end of it, you know what happens.
I don't think I'm
Sometimes
spoiling.
people don't finish books.
I don't think we're ruining anything by that.
Just saying.
But I will say with all of the coverage of what took place over the course of the spring into the summer, there's been no distractions when it comes to Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini, and all of that stuff. With that said, could there be a distraction of Christian Gonzalez not being able to reach a new deal with the Patriots as we head towards week 1? Christian Gonzalez is a fantastic player.
Yeah, he's great.
I feel like this is one of those situations where, no, it's not going to be a distraction because this is how the NFL works. Players want new deals. They threaten to hold out, hold in, whatever. I want to trade, whatever it is. And then they get their money, and everyone in the locker room's like, cool, he's ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Football is different than other sports.
I mean, wouldn't you be surprised if we get to the weekend goes by, preseason, training camp is over, the Patriots go back, they start preparing for week 1 of the regular season, and then all of a sudden, right before we get to the game, as we're less than 2 weeks away from the Patriots and Seahawks, and then all of a sudden a deal is reached. He's focused on week 1. The Patriots are focused on week 1, and a deal is reached, but right before week 1, right before the game. Not like right before the game, but like the week leading up to the game.
Yeah.
This seems like that's the way this is trending. This doesn't seem like this is going to be something that, goes on and on throughout the season and into the offseason. This seems like this is going to be something that's going to be resolved in that like dead time where, not dead, obviously, but like because they're getting ready for the regular season, but the break in between the last preseason game this weekend and the start of the regular season in 13 days for the Patriots and the Seahawks,
Yeah, it's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app with you every day till 3 Eastern right here on Westwood One Sports. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. So that's a story we'll keep our eyes on. I don't think it will be a big distraction. I don't think it will be a bigger distraction than the distraction that wasn't. I don't think the Vrabel Rossini thing's a distraction at all.
Yeah.
Now, who knows? We're only a few days away from the start of the season. Has anyone heard from Diana Rossini?
Why do we need to?
Well, I'm just saying, isn't that the only way this becomes a distraction?
I don't even think so.
If there's a story that comes from her that could be a distraction, that's the only thing I'm saying. Outside of that, I agree. I don't think it's a distraction. It seems like there were two consenting adults that were hanging out.
Yeah,
And who knows what the agreements with all parties involved were.
Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be like some bombshell story. Like, I think that, again, this was two people that got caught, essentially, in doing this by the media. We don't know if they got caught by their spouses. Like, they got caught by the media.
Well, when you say get caught, I mean, it is possible that all parties involved were aware of the situation.
Yeah,
that is a possibility. That's
what
out
I'm trying.
there.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
You're saying swinging.
Nope. You said it.
Well, I'm interpreting what you're saying.
I'm just saying that
You're saying open.
that there's no bad blood.
You're saying that maybe it was open.
No, I'm just saying that
That's
that's
what you're saying.
No, All I'm saying is that what I'm going with.
You're
is that
saying
there-
if you're walking by the hotel room that maybe there was a pineapple on
That's
the door.
not what I'm saying.
I think that's
If you would
exactly
let
what
me-
Abdalla
If you would
was
stop
saying.
putting words in my mouth, I'm saying that there's no
What
bad.
are you saying?
There's no bad blood between Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel.
It seems like everything was on the up and up.
And she's not out to get him or anything like that. And so
That is reported at the moment.
And so there's not going to be some, I'm going to do a tell-all, or I'm shopping my story to the highest bidder, whether it's the Today Show or Good Morning America or whatever.
Could you imagine that? The Today Show, the day of the opener?
Yeah, but I don't think that that's going to be the case.
I don't think so either. I think what we're joking about, I don't think what we're joking about is necessarily what took place, but I do think there's, I don't think it's as nefarious as maybe the tabloids have made it seem.
Exactly. I don't think there's bad blood.
I think it's certainly
don't think-
possible
Yeah.
that parties were aware of this situation.
I don't think she's out to get him. I don't think this is going to be like a gotcha thing. I'm trying to cripple your season or anything like that before the games, before the Wednesday night opener.
He needed the vote, though, for Coach of the Year.
Okay.
MVP for Drake May.
He got it.
She can't give that anymore.
He'll
All
get
right,
it.
it's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. It's now time for NHTSA tailgating traditions. Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over, paid for by NHTSA. Today's tailgating tradition, how about this, Abdalla? Chicken and waffles.
Oh, my
got
favorite.
Got a couple of tips for you. Chicken and waffles, right? The idea here is go with mini chicken sliders on mini chicken and waffle sliders. You get a stick, a skewer, you put it through the waffles and the chicken. Maybe use some mini frozen waffles or some King's Hawaiian rolls, right? You put that to the waffle maker and you make little waffles out of it. You have a sauce, like a hot honey sauce or maybe a maple syrup, add some pickles, some chicken and waffles for the tailgate, because if you're watching the game at home or if you're going out with friends to tailgate, I think that's a great one, because especially if it's a game that's like a 1 Eastern kick, a noon kick, you have breakfast, right?
Nooner, yeah.
A little chicken and waffles for our tailgating traditions today.
I don't need to tell you this, but chicken and waffles is hands down my favorite food. If I were to have a last meal at any point, chicken and waffles. We once went to a college football game. We took a trip, an SEC trip to Tennessee, and the entire weekend, all I ate, breakfast, lunch, dinner, for 3 days were chicken and waffles for every single meal for Southern hospitality. And so my tip is this: do not assemble early. Do not show up with pre-made chicken and waffles, because you don't want that syrup to soak through, and then you got soggy buns. You got soggy waffles. You don't want to have a soggy bottom when you show up. You don't want that.
Never.
Nobody wants a soggy bottom. So show up not pre-assembled, assembled when you get there. Have people, add as much syrup as they want to, that kind of thing, and then put, like you said, the toothpick, the skewer through so it stays assembled. And you can pre-fry, pre-make the waffles as you go and assemble there. And it is delicious. It's so good. I love it. I love chicken and waffles. They're my favorite.
I think you go with a couple of warming trays and you keep them separate. The waffles and the chicken separate until you get there.
Absolutely.
And then you assemble at the tailgate. And I believe that was Knoxville, Tennessee, where you had like 3 straight days of only chicken and waffles. So there you go. Our NHTSA tailgating traditions today: chicken and waffles. Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA. Chicken and waffles. Ooh, that sounds good for a tailgate.
Man, what a trip.
Week 0 is here in college football. We're gonna have week 1 next weekend, and we're 13 days away from the start of the NFL season. Has the hype train for one NFL team gotten completely out of control? We'll talk about that coming up next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla live from Chicago. Is there a team in the NFL where the hype here in the offseason's gotten completely out of control? I think when you ask that question, Abdalla, there, like each and every year as we talk football, like it almost always is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys are always the team running away with the hype in the offseason, right? So that's one. That's not who we're talking about right now. Although you and I both like Dallas, and we think they're going to be really good this season.
Mm-hmm.
The other team that I think some people could point to here in this offseason and say, who's the team with runaway hype for this season? You know, you could look at the moves of what have taken place and a big trade that happened for a team that was really good last year, almost got there. They have an MVP. And then they add Myles Garrett. Is the hype out of control for the Los Angeles Rams?
Yeah.
Rams football,
Yeah.
Rams house.
Mm-hmm.
Too much hype. That's not who we're talking about here. It's not who we're talking about at all. I think the hype around the Rams and the Cowboys, it's worthy. I would say when we ask the question, is the hype train out of control with one team specifically? I'm talking about the Chicago Bears. It does feel in the last couple of weeks that everybody is talking about the Chicago Bears. So they're either talking about the Bears as a team that could break out. They're talking about the Bears and their quarterback. They're talking about Ben Johnson being the next it guy head coach in the National Football League. It does feel like nationally, the Chicago Bears have gotten a lot of coverage for a team that only made it to the divisional round of the playoffs. They didn't get to a conference championship game. And really, they didn't add much this offseason. In fact, you could probably argue that they lost pieces from one year to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And the one star player that they brought in, Kobe Bryant, he's out for at least 6 months with an injury. So Chicago, is the hype train around the Chicago Bears out of control just 13 days before the season starts?
No.
Okay, we'll be back here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Thank you, Abdalla, for your efforts and your assistance in the conversation.
No, because I think that like
No,
it's not. It's not because again, we're talking about the Cowboys making a run at the NFC Championship game and possibly a Super Bowl. We're talking at the Rams. Everyone has basically said, "Oh, just pencil them into the Super Bowl in LA where the Super Bowl is for Super Bowl 61," right? Ben Johnson said it himself. They're the number one regression candidate. It's them and the Broncos because of how many times they've had to come from behind and win games. Everyone knows that their defense is going to be bad this year. I haven't found a single NFL analyst, NFL expert that's like, yeah, the Bears are going to the NFC Championship this game. The Bears are not only winning the division, Caleb Williams is winning MVP, and the Bears are going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. No one is saying that. Everyone is just like, yeah, the Bears are going to have a really good offense, and they have a chance to have like a top 3 offense in the NFC. And that's a natural progression of the Bears offense because of how good they looked at the end of games last year. If you look at the Bears offense, they weren't that great, actually, last year. Look at the numbers. Caleb didn't get to 4,000 yards last year. They had a great run game, the best running game in the NFL. That's it. The passing game wasn't very good because Caleb wasn't accurate, and he had to come from behind in all of these games. So they have to fix that. They have to be better in the entirety of games. And I think that people are just banking on the fact that Ben Johnson is going to be the next guy. And he's going to be the next McVay, Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, like the next it play caller when it comes to offense and head coach. And that you've got Caleb Williams, who showed tons of flashes, obviously, in those come from behind wins. He's on the Madden cover. They're the sexy team this year, just like a few years ago, the Lions were a sexy team who had a decent run the year before, and everybody was picking them to make a decent run. Nobody was picking them to be like, man, the Lions are going to the Super Bowl. The Lions are going to represent the NFC. The Lions are winning the Super Bowl. But people were picking them to make the natural jump to the next level. If anything, I'm seeing more people that are saying the Bears are probably going to be a wild card team this year instead of winning the division. The Bears might actually have a worse record this year, but
take a step back.
Could have a better team. Like their offense could be better, their defense could be worse, but they could have a worse record and be a wild card team or maybe even miss the playoffs, as weird as that might sound. Like Caleb could be the first Bears quarterback to eclipse 4,000 yards, but this team might not win as many games because their defense doesn't have the turnover luck that they did last year. They didn't add anything to their defensive line, right? They are, like you mentioned, the Kobe Bryant injury that they just signed this year. Dylan Thieneman that they drafted. Maybe he doesn't pan out. You draft a first-round pick, it's not a sure thing. You don't know. Kyler Gordon hasn't seen a field in 2 years.
You making the case that Caleb Williams could be a 4,000-yard passer. It's like being the last house in the neighborhood to get internet back in the day.
Yeah.
Everyone else has had that. The Chicago Bears haven't. So that's still something Chicago Bears fans point out. They're like, hey, we could get that this year. It's like, you guys are the only ones that don't have internet.
Yeah.
What world are you living in?
Exactly.
Everyone else has 4,000-yard passers, 5,000-yard passers. It's just the way of the NFL now. So a couple of things, right? CBS released an all breakout team. They list 3 different Chicago Bears on the list. They got Caleb Williams, Colson Loveland, and Luther Burden. Okay. A wide receiver, a tight end, a quarterback. I think people know about Caleb Williams. If people are unaware about Colson Loveland, it's time to figure this out. Colson Loveland last year was the number 1 receiver for the Chicago Bears, even though he's the tight end. He's the number 1 target. And you saw that in the playoffs. In December, January, and in the playoffs, Colson Loveland was an absolute game changer. So there's one. Luther Burden, from all reports that we've seen, has had a great offseason. And he is expected to be the guy who will eventually become the number 1 receiver over Rome Odunze here in Chicago. So I don't think it's giving too much love for CBS to say that there's 3 breakout stars with the Chicago Bears, because from what we've heard here in Chicago is that Colson Loveland has a chance to be one of the best tight ends in football. Luther Burden could be the number 1 wide receiver, and we think that Caleb will take another step forward. So that all makes sense. But we've had others around the NFL kind of throw some shade at the Bears here in the offseason. Do you remember back when Liam Cohen mentioned the Bears in talking about motivating his Jacksonville Jaguar team? Take a listen to this.
You just scroll. I just go, pull up my phone, look at the NFL Network website, and just pop up here. And I'm curious if I see any photos or anything about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think I'll just scroll right on through.
You keep going, yeah.
I think I'll see 40 pictures of Caleb Williams, and I won't see a single thing about any of our players.
So that's Liam Cohen taking a shot. Caleb Williams. NFL.com, you'll see 40 pictures of Caleb. I know today when I went to ESPN.com, I saw story about the Bears, story about Caleb Williams. Someone wanted Dan Orlovsky's thoughts on Caleb Williams, so there's a video of that. There's all kinds of Caleb Williams and Bears conversation on ESPN.com today.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on Bears related today. It's just here's some Bears content for America. Okay, so that's Liam Cohen. And then remember also here in this offseason, Kyle Brandt had a chance to talk to new Buffalo Bills wide receiver DJ Moore, who was here in Chicago. And if you listen to the way he gives the answer about Caleb, his former quarterback, and other former quarterbacks he played with, was DJ Moore giving some shade towards Caleb? Take a listen to this.
Caleb Williams, he's getting there. What do you mean, though? I know what you're saying, but from your perspective, what do you mean? He's still growing. He's an automatic superstar now, Madden cover, and he's on ups. Can that be tough, for a young player, especially quarterback? You make a couple crazy plays. He makes the play against the Rams to commit, the most outrageous play of the year. Madden cover, superstar, Mr. Offseason. That can be hard, right? I don't know if it's hard for him. I ain't never had to experience that, but kudos to him.
So that was DJ Moore. He gave nicer comments to the other quarterbacks when he was asked by Kyle Brandt. Is that a dig at someone to say that they're an automatic superstar? Do you see what I'm saying? I kind of feel as if, in music, it's a diss to call someone an industry plant.
Yes.
Right? I think the new industry plant would be Stella Lefty. Have you seen that? Have you seen the conversation about Stella Lefty that's out there?
Can't get away from the Groupon superstar.
Yeah. So her father is a billionaire.
Yeah.
He was the co-founder of Groupon, and so she's not a nepo baby. She just comes from money, right? And her music's everywhere now. And I saw a post yesterday promoting her tour, and it had like 2 million views, and it had under 200 likes.
Yeah.
And so everyone was commenting that you clearly didn't pay for the like option for promoting the post because like it's an industry plant thing, right? Like they're trying to promote that she's like this big star when no one's liking it.
Can I buy a Groupon to the concert?
I don't think they do that anymore, unfortunately.
Actually, they do.
Do they really?
They still sell Groupons for concerts. Yeah.
They're still around?
Yeah,
like,
they do.
Groupon's funny because it's a company that was based here in Chicago. So, like, you loosely hear a lot of stuff about it. And she's from Chicago because of that tie. So, point being, is Automatic Superstar like a diss as if in the music industry when you say that's an industry plant?
I don't know. I mean, I think that there was definitely some shade thrown by DJ to Caleb. And we know that their relationship wasn't always the best. We know that he was definitely a Justin Fields guy. And we know that DJ Moore, even after they drafted Caleb we knew that they were moving on from Fields, had comments saying that, I don't know why we couldn't, keep Fields and keep trying to develop Justin Fields. So we know where his allegiances lied. And we know how it ended here. He's traded to Buffalo. He's on Buffalo for a reason because it didn't work out here. And as soon as the Bears drafted Luther Burden, the first thought everybody had was, well, there's DJ Moore's replacement, And you saw the targets. You mentioned the guy that led the Bears in receiving and targets, Colston Loveland, was a tight end. So as soon as that started to take place, you saw the way the relationship went. So it's not surprising that DJ Moore, who has had a cast of quarterbacks that aren't great, it's surprising that he didn't get along with Caleb or had a weird relationship with Caleb. I wouldn't say didn't get along.
It was weird.
Yeah,
it was
weird.
It was a weird relationship, and it did seem as if Caleb Williams bonded with the other younger receivers on the receiving staff. Like Jade Walker is a player that undrafted player. Made the roster last year. He caught a touchdown pass in the comeback against the Green Bay Packers, I believe, in the playoff game. But outside of that, wasn't really active for game days ever. But Caleb seemed to really get along with Jade Walker. And Jade Walker has been in play this offseason, and he's been a good player at camp. And I think he's going to have a role on this team moving forward. So, it never felt like DJ Moore and Caleb meshed, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Speaking of industry plants, the YouTube chat mentions Goose. Are they an industry plant?
They're thinking of geese.
Either way.
There's a band called Goose. Then there's also a band called Geese.
Are they industry plants? That's the question to you.
No, Geese. No, because Geese was a band before I think their album was pushed as an industry plant album. The thing with Geese is they're pushed as like a band of like musicians, but if you look into like who they are, they all came from like this very prestigious music school, and like they're all actually like really talented musicians. But
isn't that the same with a lot of bands?
Yeah, but
like,
they're
isn't
not.
Isn't that Vampire Weekend's
essentially, and their album was pushed by the label with like fake discourse. So the album was an industry plant of an album. The band really isn't, because they've had other albums. They've been a band before, like they blew up recently.
Right.
So like they're not really an industry plant of a band, but the album this time was more. And the reason they blew up was because of being like the album was an industry plant, less of a band.
It's Bleck Abdalla. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. So, I mean, I don't know if it's I don't know if there's too much hype heading into this season. I think you labeled it correctly. I think there's proper hype for elements of the Bears team that could be successful, but I think a lot of people are suggesting they're going to take a step back. And I don't know if you can be hyped if people are saying you're going to regress.
Yeah,
You know,
I think the same thing.
And that's I think the realistic view on this team. Their defense is going to be bad. The offense has to improve. And if they do, maybe their offense can carry them, but I'm not expecting it to.
No, I mean, look, I think if you want to win games, 40 to 37, that's what they're going to try to do. And I think this team knows that. And that's what they're very self-aware. And Ben Johnson, there was that article in The Athletic about how he wants to, try to put it on teams and outscore teams and try to shut teams out. I don't know if you're going to ever shut teams out this year. Maybe if you add to the defense next year, but
no, he's not going to.
Yeah,
nope,
this defense could be very, very bad. Like, I don't even think they have a chance to be middle of the pack this year.
Let's see, a text from the 503. Of course, they're talking about the Bears in Chicago. Definitely not in Kansas City, Seattle, Dallas, LA, or even Reno. Text from the 503. Text from the 208. Welcome to the daily Caleb Williams pity party. How about that, Abdalla? That's a shot at us. Bleck Abdalla, the Caleb Williams pity. I don't think this conversation was a pity party. What was the pity party?
We just said that they're not hype. They weren't going to be good. They weren't going to go to the NFC title. Like we just said, they weren't going to be. They weren't going to win the division.
I mean, that guy, the texter. Where is he from again? The 208. Yeah. All right, texter. How about this? When Caleb wins MVP and the Bears go to the Super Bowl and they're facing off against Raj's Broncos, in Los Angeles for Super Bowl 61, we'll hold a official Caleb Williams pity party the week before the Super Bowl.
Talk about some selective listening.
Jeez. All right, love it. Keep the text flowing. 310-840-4910. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Did you see the story with Roger Goodell as well? Commenting publicly on the future of the Bears and where their home's going to be. He was asked about it. He was quoting the USA Today, not giving any specific timetable from his standpoint on what they're looking at with the different Arlington Heights spot or Hammond. We were told last week that Goodell was in Illinois talking to lawmakers down in Illinois, and I've also been told that there are lobbyists working downstate on behalf of the Chicago Bears.
It's about time. It's
in Illinois.
A couple years too late, but
but it does play into the idea that we've thought all along that Hammond, Indiana, is a leverage play.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Mm-hmm. They have never been with the intent of actually moving to Hammond, Indiana.
Yeah, of course.
It's just Indiana is giving them everything, and Illinois doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So that's the latest update on that story. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Well, the NFL's big choice yesterday influenced the NBA. We'll explain that during Over and Under with Raj coming up next. Football is back and something big is coming. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives.
New DraftKings customers sign up with code B&A26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That includes all markets.
That's code BNA26 for Bleck and Abdalla 26. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut. Call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involve risk of loss. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. $50 in rewards issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable. Terms at dkng.co/offer. Limited time offer. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
Last season, the Patriots and Bears went from worst to first. Who could make the jump this season? John Harbaugh's Giants, Tyler Shuck and the Saints? Dare we say the Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, live from Chicago each and every day. It's the Bleck and Abdalla show. Now it's time to go on out to Colorado. Parts unknown.
And the next question comes from the line of Raj Sharan with Westwood One. Please proceed.
Please proceed on a Thursday. It's time for Over and Unders with Raj. What's up, Raj? Good to have you back.
What's up, fellas? It is good to be back on an Over-Under Thursday. I like these topics. I like when we cross sports. It always gets me pretty excited. A little cross sport. And that's what we're going to do. We are going to cross the streams, Abdalla, on the very first question here. So the story of the day, as Chris Bleck very eloquently put it, Shedeur Sanders killed the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is now done, finito. And so I wonder if that opens up the door for other sports. I read a comment from an NFL spokesperson who said it's not the worst thing to be the leader in the clubhouse of canceling the game. So now will others follow? Because they're not the first one. Well, if we follow a similar trend to what the Pro Bowl did, and you guys pointed this out very well earlier, it used to be a game, then they started tinkering with it and changing it around, and then eventually died. That sounds a lot like the NBA All-Star Game. It used to be a game, and now they started tinkering around with it. Could it eventually die? So our first question, I put a pretty good timeline on this thing. Abdalla, the NBA will end the All-Star Game, not change it, not tinker it, end it. It's dead in over or under 9.5 years.
Okay, honest question. Are they still doing the Elam ending?
No.
Okay.
No. I think they did it for like 2 years, and then they stopped it. Yeah.
All right. Shows how much I watched the NBA All-Star Game.
No,
there's another example of tinkering it.
Okay.
By the way, I guess if you assume they're never going to end it, you would pick the over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I don't think they get rid of it. I think that it's still, because it's still a game, and it's not some, it's still a basketball game. There's not weird quarters, and because the Elam thing,
it's not a football game.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not like in the Elam ending you had quarters and games, and then this team versus this team, and this was this.
Oh, I think they're still going to do that. I think
they're still going to do that.
They're going to break up into the world, the U.S.
I understand that, but it's still basketball. It's not a flag football game where it's in the NFL. You're not playing a real game. It is still basketball.
Oops.
So I'm going to say over. There's too much corporate sponsorship in it. There's too much money in it. It's still the game of basketball being played. I'm going to say over.
I was laughing, Raj, at the way that you started this question by saying how I put it with Shedeur Sanders killed the Pro Bowl. I went to the bathroom earlier during the show, and I ran into someone. They're like, oh, what are you guys talking about today? I go, the Pro Bowl, it's ending. And then they're like, yeah, I heard about that. I go, yeah, Shedeur Sanders killed it. and he looks up at me and goes, man, that's rough. I go, yeah, I said it on the air. He goes, really? It's like, yes, I'm not giving you different content than what I'm saying on the show.
I don't just have bathroom takes.
The Bleck and Abdalla show continuing into the bathroom during the breakaways in the great city of Chicago.
No, man, the show's the same. I'm giving you the same crap content either way.
Chris has it right under for a good time call. Right under that.
For a good take.
He writes, Shedeur Sanders killed the Pro Bowl.
For a good
time, call 310-840-4910.
Yeah. I would say over. I think for the NBA and the way their season flows, they need a mid-season event, and that event will always be the All-Star Game. For how much Adam Silver tries to make the in-season tournament a thing, it's not a thing. Fetch will never be a thing. People don't care about it at all.
Guys, question. Does the Premium La Liga thing, do they do an All-Star Game? Because if they do, then Adam Silver may do it because he loves the Premium La Liga. You guys missed me yesterday, didn't you?
They don't need to do that. They don't need that.
Chris Bleck just death staring me from across the country.
I'm glad you're watching the stream so you can see me just stare at it.
The
Premium La Liga. Come on, Raj.
The Premier League.
The Premium La Liga thing.
They don't need that.
I actually have, for in about 15 minutes, I have an EPL thought for you, Raj. And I wasn't gonna sneak it into today's show. We got too much to do, but I'm gonna.
Isn't that the gas that you can only put in some cars, but not other? The EPL fuel?
93 octane. Yes.
That's right. All right, guys.
I'm gonna go over.
Okay. All right, you guys go over. That's going to stick around. All right, same semi-topic. So the Pro Bowl's gone. They're going to name 88 Pro Bowlers now. Now, Abdalla may not care about this, but I think the players might, because sometimes they have incentives and that kind of. It can come up at Hall of Fame time when they're in the room debating who gets in. This guy was a 13-time Pro Bowler, etc. 88 seemed like a lot. That was Abdalla's initial reaction. 88. So you know what? I cut it in half. We got aggressive, and I want to know, Chris Bleck, the NFL should recognize over or under 47 and a half players as Pro Bowlers.
Okay, so you're essentially
I'm basically
setting
doing
up
two
where,
deep at every position, which gives you like 44, and then a
both
couple like
conferences.
kicker, punter, returner, that kind of thing.
So two deep. So you just get one player per conference.
Yeah.
Ooh, no,
yeah.
no,
If you cut it that deep, it has now become more prestigious than getting an All-Pro.
No, you know why? Here's my thought. This is how many players should be on
Abdalla's face right now.
They should roll out the amount of players that they could have an actual game with. Okay?
So 50. So you want a 53-man roster on each side?
I don't
With
think
46 dressing on game day?
Do they really? I think if you go 46 aside, I think that's fine. The game day players.
I feel like that's what they kind of did with 88. They went 44 and 44.
Yeah, that's fine. So I go over. I don't think you need to make it more exclusive. I think have the appropriate amount of players make the Pro Bowl, where if one day they decide to play it again, they have the rosters just there.
Yeah, I think that's a fine amount. Again, I just don't I don't care about the amount. I just think it's fine. That's a decent amount. I think you can do 3 wide receivers from each. You can do 3 from each, I think, from each position. 3 wide receivers from the AFC, 3 from the NFC, 3 running backs, 3 quarterbacks. 3 is, I think,
We're doing 3
good
tackles,
number.
3 guards, 3 centers. Do we have 3 good centers in each conference?
Abdalla hates beefy boys. So.
No, that's not true. I love my
boys.
beef. I love my beef.
Let's see.
Yeah, I would say, probably.
I mean, if you're going 3 deep at every position, both conferences, you're looking at 132 players.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just have enough that you could still have a game.
All right, well then have the 40, have the 80, I guess 88's a good number then. They probably
88.
figured this out.
88 it is. All right, also yesterday, guys, the NFL announced a new safety policy that you can get suspended for 3 violations. So 3 violations equals a 1-game suspension. It's the hip drop tackle, the horse collar tackle, launching, hitting a defensive player, or a blindside block. Those are the things that are grouped in. 3 of those violations equals a 1-game suspension. The online put a skirt on them crowd they're very up in arms about this. They don't like it. So here's what I want to know, Abdalla. We will see over or under 2.5 players suspended this season under this new policy.
Under, because that's the first thing I thought of. How many times did the same player horse collar? How many times does the same player get a flag for hitting a defenseless player?
Launching defensive player? There's defensive backs who are crazy.
I understand that, but it's it's the same guy once a year. It's the same guy. It's not the same guy 3 times a year. We see a horse collar tackle by one guy once a year. You might see it by different guys throughout the year, but by the same guy over and over and over again is very rare.
I think there's a lot of ways to get a violation. Hip drop tackle, horse collar, launching.
It doesn't have to be the same thing. You mix and match, it counts.
I think, so Raj, you're saying more than 2.5?
More than 2.5 dudes will get hit at least a game from this. Well, at least 3 players.
I'll go
get hit.
over. I think there are some defensive players that just don't care, and I think one way or the other
To
they'll
miss
find
a
a way.
game check? Are you serious?
I'm telling you, man. I think it will happen. Yes.
All right,
They're
guys,
missing their money.
let's go over to hoops. Did you know, Chris Bleck, that we are 54 days away from the tip-off of the NBA season? ESPN has a summer preview up, and their MVP favorite is Victor Wembanyama.
They're really going out on a limb.
They really
there.
went out on a
Shocking.
limb. So I'm going to ask
Shocking.
you, will Wemby go over or under 2.5 MVPs in his career to put him in the exclusive club? He'd be the 10th one, assuming Shea doesn't join it first, to win 3 MVPs. Will he go over or under 2.5 and join Kareem, Jordan, Russell, Wilt, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Moses Malone, Jokic, and LeBron? Pretty exclusive club. Will Wemby join it? Over or under?
Wembanyama is 22. I'm going to go over based on history of the league. I think a player that's to this point at age 22 being able to do what he's done to like accomplish so far, so much so early. And I know in the finals, like, he looked tired. Abdalla's right. He called it first. He was the first one on
he owned that.
Yeah,
He
I mean, that's
owned
if
that
there's-
take.
Man, if there's ever a take to remind people that you got right, like, that's it. You said he was going to be tired and the Knicks were going to win the finals.
After like the
and
game
that's
one of his
exactly
life,
what happened.
where everybody was talking to him, and I was like, I'm really worried about how tired he was.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
it's not
talking about,
something
dude?
we were talking about
This
at
is like
all.
one of the most unbelievable performances
Yeah.
we ever seen, and you're hung up that he was tired. Boy, he was right.
You're tired, and the
Abdalla
Knicks
was
are going
right.
to win the finals, and you're like, you're crazy. And I was like, okay.
I think at 22, the wise play would be to go over because he will win. He will win more than 2 MVPs.
I think he's young enough to where you could get. If he was a little bit older, I would say under, just because of fatigue, like voter fatigue, right? No, not his fatigue. I'm not saying he's going to get tired again. I would say voter fatigue, right? To say like, oh, if he was like 27 or 26 or 27, I'd be like, he's not going to win 3 at this point. But because he's 22, he's got enough time where he could win like 1, skip a year, win another one, skip a year, win another one. Like, so I'm going to say over as well. I think he can win 3.
I don't know how he's going to win it when Caleb Wilson is winning it every year, but I guess we'll find out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'll take that.
That's fair.
I know you guys
Caleb
would
City,
take that.
USA. Let's
That's
go.
fair. That's
Let's
fair.
go.
That's fair.
All right, guys, and finally, read about this morning. Coming up right after us at 3 o'clock Eastern. Netflix
We are the
is
pregame
concerned.
show for
yeah, we're the pregame show.
We're actually the pregame show for this, aren't we?
We're the pregame show.
Yeah.
Netflix is concerned they may have server issues of a crash because they paid for like 6 hours of exclusivity to show the first footage of Grand Theft Auto 6 coming up at 3 o'clock. Like, it may crash the Netflix servers.
Did
which
you
is
know that we were the
hysterical.
pregame show for this at 3
Yeah, we're
o'clock?
the pregame show for this. Just for
Rome
people to
had
watch.
something special.
Yeah, like 20 minutes
he's
of
doing
footage.
live commentary.
Is he really?
He's going to do live commentary of the GTA 6 reveal.
You guys are making that up.
Clones, we're watching GTA 6. Fire it
Racket.
up.
Oh, my gosh.
Racket.
So I ask you,
guys
guys,
are-
so the
That's not real.
No, it is at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Netflix is
But Rome is
releasing.
doing it?
No. But at 3 o'clock, Netflix is releasing the gameplay footage of GTA 6.
Rome going after Deshaun Watson the other day was just
Oh, my
an
gosh.
all-time
Oh, it was
classic.
everything I wanted and more. It was everything I
he's so
expected it
great.
to be.
He is so
and,
great.
And more.
It's so great.
More. All right, so
It's
the
so great.
last Grand Theft Auto, guys, number 5, came out in 2013. It's been 13 years. It sold over 230 million copies. I'm wondering, this new one that's been 13 years in the in waiting, can it go over or under 400.5 million copies, which would pass Minecraft to make it the #1 selling video game of all time? Big jump, but the hype, 13 years in the making, from 230 up to over 400. What do you say, Abdalla?
So when does this come out?
November, like like holiday season is when it comes out.
Okay. All right. So middle of football season. All right. And it comes out Christmas season too. So, listen, if you want to buy it, this isn't the same as like when you could buy like a video game and get it for Christmas. You know what I mean?
It's not
like
a video game?
No. Like you just download it now.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
You can give it as a gift then.
Yeah, you could, but it's not the same. It's not the same as like having to wait for it. Like most people are just, Raj, correct me if I'm wrong. Most people are just going to download this thing.
I think so, yeah. I mean, they're going away with digital. There's like a big fight about that. Like Sony doesn't even want to make. In fact, this game isn't even going to be on disc. If you go buy a box, it just has a code in it that you type in and download it.
Abdalla's premise here that games can no longer be gifts?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I think his premise is less people will buy it as a gift because everybody buys things digitally and people really don't buy digital things as
waits
gifts.
to download because everybody will just download it in November as opposed to just be like putting it on a Christmas
have you bought
list.
a CD for autumn recently? Like people don't do that.
Kids don't buy stuff. Their
think
parents have to buy the
I think it's going to go over because
the target for this isn't kids. It's like 35 to like 50-year-olds who's going to buy this.
When I was a kid, I played GTA.
People have been built
Come
up.
on.
People have been built up.
Easy.
For the release of this.
Watch out.
You're
for
really
13 years.
Wow.
For 13 years,
It's
man.
a big dude.
And let me just tell you this, like this better be good.
Well, okay. I view this kind of like one of those James Cameron Avatar sequels, right? Like you hear about it for like 6 or 7 years. Blue people running around. They got fire
Dances with
this
Wolves with
time.
blue
Maybe
people.
they've got some sea the next time. I don't know. I don't need any of it. I think there's a lot of hype, a lot of conversation. People will certainly be interested in download it, but to beat Minecraft, I'll go under.
405.
I'll go under Minecraft.
400.5
It's been
million
too
copies.
long.
No,
You
I'm gonna go
long.
under. I'm gonna go under. I think it'll beat GTA 5. I think it'll be the
Can't
number
wait
2.
that long,
Yes, you
man.
can.
You can't.
I don't
Yes,
know if
you
it could be. Dude, my kid's 9. Every kid plays Minecraft. Every kid plays Minecraft.
Yeah, but I think everybody between the ages of like 15 and 47
I'm not playing.
wants this.
Well,
Everybody.
I'm not going to get it.
Good for you. You don't have a system.
Oh, I'm
That's
just
fine.
telling you.
I'm gonna play.
I'm in the age. You just gave an age range, and I said immediately, I'm not playing.
I'm blowing the dust off my system.
You're gonna buy.
To
Look at
download
that.
this.
Abdalla, who doesn't even play, is
Easy.
gonna get it. So out of the 2 people
Easy.
here, it's 50-50. One's getting it. He doesn't even play games, but he's like, yeah, I'm
It's 30.
getting this
It's
one.
actually 33 and a third because Raj is getting it.
Pattern. Again, it looks like you went and got a blow at your
Easy.
A blowout at your salon.
So what if we were playing Grand Theft Auto, they wouldn't beep that.
And it looks beautiful.
Abdalla's out there blowing on. What is it? Your system?
The system.
Jeez, watch out. All right.
That does it for Over Under today, fellas.
Thank you, Raj. Appreciate
Thank you, fellas. Good to be back.
Over and under.
You didn't
with
get that from
Raj.
Stu yesterday. I know that.
What? No, we didn't. No, that's true. That is absolutely true. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. The NFL's Super Bowl favorites have 2 plans heading into this season. We'll explain what those are coming up next.
The NFL season kicks off in less than 2 weeks with a Super Bowl rematch between the Seahawks and Patriots. Then the Rams and 49ers go in the NFL's first regular season game from Australia. And you can listen to both on your home for the NFL. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
The Los Angeles Rams have two plans to get ready for the season. They have two plans, two paths to go down to get prepared for the season. We have yet to see Aaron Donald say he's returning to the Rams to play football. If he does return to the NFL, it will be with the Los Angeles Rams. It's the worst kept secret that we've seen here in the offseason. Sean McVay talked to reporters about Aaron Donald, and he says that they have two plans. A plan that if he's there, they'll fit him on the roster. Oh, wow, yeah, they'll fit Aaron Donald on the roster.
We'll figure it out.
And then a plan that if he's not, they've got their 53 that they know what they want to go with.
Yeah.
If he's not there. Do you think so? Of course, they would have two plans, right? One with Aaron Donald, one without. One where they're probably expecting him to be a part of the team. Do you think Aaron Donald will just wait this out until they get back from Australia? We've talked about this, right? That it seems like at this point, that's where this is going. He's not going to go on the trip down under, and he'll be with the Rams for week 2.
I said this a month ago. I said this was my first idea that this would happen. Just like when I said Victor Wembanyama was tired, on record, first to report or suspect that Aaron Donald.
Please make clear you're not reporting.
Not reporting.
You're not a reporter.
Not reporting. So that's why I said suspect. First to suspect that if Aaron Donald comes back, he does so in week 2 at home. I believe it's a night game too. And he does so by not having to go to Australia and put his body through the recovery of doing that. He doesn't want to go through training camp. He's obviously not going to play in preseason games. And he's been working out at the facility a few times. They have to report it every time he does. But as soon as they come back from Australia, they've got 10 days in between that game and when they come back and their next game. And that gives him ample time to get ready for that Sunday's game. And that's when he'll be ready.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. Did you see this story out of Georgia? A Georgia teacher has designated a place in the classroom for kids to use as a, quote, gas station. In the back of the room, there's a little area in the back of the room where if you need to have a normal bodily function, you can go back there and you can have your moment.
Yeah.
In the back of the classroom, and you're not around your classmates at a Georgia school.
Word. A gas station for farts. This Georgia teacher says it's a classroom win-win. The fart corner gives students a place to pass gas without leaving class, and it helps normalize a very normal bodily function. And I will say this. My wife works in schools. She used to be a teacher. She's no longer a teacher. And I showed her this story yesterday. And she goes, that's a great idea. Kids fart a lot. And they have to leave class a lot to fart.
They leave the class
They leave the class, yeah. And she goes specifically grade schoolers and middle schoolers because they think it's embarrassing. And she goes, this is a great idea.
So putting them on a platform of walking to the little corner, that's going to make it better?
I watched the video of this teacher. She's got she's got a little thing that says gusty wind area. She's got like a little placard. Like a little street sign.
Does it like hide the person?
No. But they've got Febreze. She's got multiple Febreze spray bottles so that it hides the scent. Said fart.
Here's where my mind was like, isn't every little original prankster in every class gonna, the moment they're bored, get up and walk, make a scene to walk back there and then just rip one?
I don't think so. I think that this is...
What are you talking about?
No.
That is like exactly what every kid, every little prankster in every class.
This is...
I'm bored. I'm going to walk back to the fart corner and I'm going to rip one.
The quote here is, this is genius and normalizes bodily functions without disturbing the classroom. And the rest of the...
Normalizing it by having to go to a specific corner is not the way to do it.
The rest of the class stays focused while someone does their business.
Well, it's not do your business in the bathroom. Go to the bathroom.
You know how long it takes to get up and walk to? You got to get. Can I have the bathroom pass? Yes, you can have the bathroom pass.
Well,
okay,
that was always a stupid
and then
thing.
You gotta
also,
go, and then you got to walk to the bathroom, and then you got to wait to the bathroom, and then you got to walk, and then you got to wait.
Is there anything more ridiculous
back
when you're a kid than not being able to go to the bathroom when you want to?
See, the problem is it disrupts class because everybody's like, that kid farted. No, that kid farted. No, I didn't fart. No, that kid. Now you just get up, you walk over.
Everyone's going to turn around and watch Billy walk to the fart corner.
So what?
And then wait.
Yeah.
And then it's just silence in the classroom and everyone waits. And then it's like.
I remember reading.
What if it's a shy one? It's a.
No. I remember reading the classic novel, Everybody Poops. And now.
Is that really?
And now we can have a new classic, Everybody Farts.
I think that this is more of a distraction.
I don't think you've been in the classroom. I think that you're wrong.
Well, I haven't, but I'm just saying, I know, and I was in class with you when we were younger. You would have utilized the fart corner as a joke.
No.
That would have been your gimmick.
I was not an original prankster.
Who are the top 10 offensive and defensive teams in the NFL? We'll talk about that next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right. Bleck and Abdalla live from Chicago, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern. Then Jim Rome will take over right here on Westwood One Sports. Preseason action in the NFL. It's back tonight. NFL Network has the Bills and the Steelers, 7 Eastern. Patriots and Browns at 8 Eastern. 49ers Raiders at 8 Eastern. And also the Rams and the Chargers, 10 Eastern. That game's also on the NFL Network. So, I mean, if you look at the games tonight in action for the preseason, most notably will be the quarterback play for the Raiders. Seeing Fernando Mendoza once again in the preseason, seeing how they divvy up with Aiden O'Connell, the snaps, if Kirk Cousins plays at all. He may not play. The Raiders haven't said. So that's pretty much the prime place to watch tonight with the backups or with players playing at quarterback in the preseason, because Cleveland, the quarterback battle's over. Deshaun Watson's the starter. So there's not really much to get out of that anymore. So it's really the focus on the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, and I think it's probably the last live action that Fernando Mendoza will see against an opposing defense that's not his own. So he's got to put on a show tonight, right? Like, he's got to go out and absolutely wow the Las Vegas Raiders coaching staff. If he goes out and looks like he did last week, you know, under 100 yards, an interception, a sack, no touchdowns, then it's out of his hands, right? Like, he's made the decision easy, because Clint Kubiak said, yeah, Cousins is the starter, but the competition isn't over per se.
Yep.
You know, if Mendoza gives them a reason to rethink, they will rethink. So give them a reason tonight. Go out there, play really well. You know, it is the 49ers. I don't know if starters are playing, but it is going to be a decent defense out there regardless. So put on a show. Give them a reason to consider sitting Kirk Cousins and making you the starter from day one. And so if he does that, then he's got a full, 13 days here to get ready for the regular season, or even more, and get ready for that regular season to get started. And he can do that and be ready and lead this offense for the entire regular season.
Clint Kubiak also said that the offensive line, the injuries on the offensive line do not affect who he's going to choose to start at quarterback for the season, which I think is that makes sense. If you're battling injuries on the offensive line, like, sure, you could have a line of thought suggesting that the Raiders should wait with the rookie because of the injuries on the offensive line. My point to that would be there's no guarantee at any point throughout the regular season your offensive line's going to be fully healthy.
No.
It's usually patchwork. Like, the one thing that I always mention, and you'll hear me say it throughout the football season, is when your team and your fan base is complaining about poor offensive line play or health or whatever, it's you and like 29 other cities and franchises.
Yeah.
The offensive line, to me, is the same as people who are baseball fans complaining about their bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
Every team in baseball is looking to add to their pen. Every team. No team is set. When do you ever hear of a major league team heading towards the trade deadline with their bullpen set, ready to go?
Good.
There's like one or two teams a year. Everyone else is looking to add to their pen.
Mm-hmm.
That's offensive line play in the NFL.
Yeah.
There are a couple. There's a couple great offensive lines, and they're set. If they're healthy, they're set. They're okay. Everyone else is trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And everyone else has a weak link on the line, and they're trying to cover for that guy or a couple of spots, and they're trying to make do. So Clint Kubiak saying that the offensive line will not be the reasoning to why they won't start Mendoza, I think continues to open the door that it is possible that Mendoza gets the start for the start of the season.
Completely agree.
I think it's possible.
Listen, but he's got to do a lot tonight, right? No mistakes. He's got to play really well. He's got to put up good numbers. I think he gets extended time tonight just to do that. I think they give him the chance to do that.
It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM, channel 375. All of our great radio affiliates around the country, live from Chicago. It's Bleck and Abdalla. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. So we have preseason action tonight as we continue to count down the days to the start of the NFL season. It's a segment we like to call the Summer of Football.
I proclaim this the Summer of
Football!
What the hell's going on? I like this kind of party. Only Brett Favre could do that. I don't care what you say.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys. We need a National Guard. We need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots.
The Summer of Football with Bleck and Abdalla.
I throw, you catch. It's not that hard, okay?
That's right. You can hear every game right here on Westwood One Sports, including Super Bowl 61 and the opener, Seahawks Patriots, right here on Westwood One Sports. Abdalla, we are 13 days away from the start of the NFL season.
Matriculating our way through the summer. Almost there.
13 days away.
Man.
We're under 2 weeks.
I can't believe it.
To the start of the NFL season.
I can't believe there's real football on this weekend.
2 Thursdays from now, we will be breaking down a game that took place the night before.
That's crazy.
Think about that.
That's crazy.
Goodbye, summer.
Oh,
you were great.
So sad.
You're gone. All right, today's focus on the summer of football. The Action Network, they put together the top offenses and defensive units in the NFL. So they ranked every team in the league, 1 through 32. We're going to look at the top 10 for both the offensive rankings and the defensive rankings. And we start with the offense. Here are the top 10 teams offensively in the NFL heading into the season, according to the Action Network. Number 10, the Green Bay Packers. Number 9, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 8, the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 7, the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 6, Kansas City. Number 5, Chicago. Number 4, Dallas. Number 3, San Francisco. Number 2, Buffalo. And number 1, offensive team in the NFL heading into the season, the Los Angeles Rams.
Wow.
So those are the top 10 teams. New England's at 11, Minnesota 12, Tampa Bay at 13. And they list all of the teams right there. The worst team in the NFL offensively heading into the season, the Cleveland Browns at 32. So those are the top 10 teams offensively. Anything stand out to you from the offensive side, just the top 10?
Well, what's interesting to note, San Francisco in there, obviously, they got to deal with a bunch of injuries. Hopefully, they can stay healthy.
It's a little high.
And if
third for the 49ers?
If they do, I will say this. Action Network uses a lot of DVOA, and DVOA is a metric that puts into a bunch of factors into their metric. It does not account for injuries.
Nope.
So it's obviously why San Francisco is so high. There is a note on this. Regardless of what you may believe about last year's champion and the Seattle Seahawks, it may get you and may win you a title, but it doesn't. Defense doesn't necessarily get you all the wins. This is a note on these offenses. If you look up last year's top 21 DVOA offenses, every single one of those teams in the top 21 won 8 or more games. So if you had a top 20 offense last year,
you won at least 8 games.
You won at least 8 games.
That's actually a good note.
So being the top 20 in the NFL in offense, you're winning 8 games.
I'm guessing they don't have the research there in front of you, but what if you spun that forward to top 10? Like where do you get if you're a top 10 offense?
I'd have to look that up. They don't have the research. Yeah, they don't have the research
like
for that.
If you're a top 20 and you're winning at least 8 games, don't you have to, wouldn't it be safe to assume that if you're top 10, you're at least a playoff team or something like that?
Only one of the 11 teams beyond, like below that, made the playoffs, and it was the Panthers. So like outside of the top 21, made the playoffs, and it was the Panthers because they didn't have a top 20 offense.
Okay, so that's the offensive side. The Action Network also has the defense. So 1 through 32, best defensive teams in the NFL. Number 10, Minnesota. Number 9, Denver. Number 8, Kansas City. Number 7, New England. Number 6, Pittsburgh. Number 5, Los Angeles Rams. Number 4, Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2, the Seattle Seahawks. And number 1, the best defensive team in the NFL, the Houston Texans. All right, so those are your top 10. Anything that stands out to you with the list on the defensive side?
I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 7 out of 10 of those teams are AFC teams. If you look at those teams.
That's a good call. Yeah, you're right. Minnesota is in Minnesota. The Rams. No, there's 4.
4?
Seattle,
Okay.
Philadelphia,
So 6.
Rams,
Yeah.
and the Vikings.
Yeah. So 6 out of those teams are AFC teams. If you look at the top teams, it's obviously going to be Houston. Everyone that you talk to says that Houston had the best defense last year, and they got better. They got better. Somehow, because of the draft free agency, they got better and will have an even better defense and be a top defense once again. So watch out for the Houston Texans once again. If they can get even mediocre quarterback play out of C.J. Stroud, they will be a great team once again.
Okay,
and make it to the playoffs.
So this is how I view this, right? Oh, and to also give everyone the list of the full 32, who's at the very bottom, the worst defensive team, Miami.
Yeah.
32, the Raiders 31. Okay, so here's how I look at this. So we got the top 10s for both. There are 3 teams that have both top 10 offense and defense on these lists. Mm-hmm. Those teams, the Rams are number 1 offensively and number 5 defensively. And we know with the Rams have been in the conversation as a Super Bowl favorite this entire offseason, right? Yeah. Okay, so I think we could all understand, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The Rams are one of those teams. They're a true Super Bowl contender. The next team, Baltimore, they have the 4th best defense. They have the 9th best offense. Okay, so the Ravens. Mm-hmm. All right, that makes a lot of sense. We talked about the Ravens here in the offseason as a sleeper team, a team that we think that could get to the Super Bowl, the best team in the AFC. There's one other team, and they're also in the AFC. And they're a team that we continue to say is not going to be as good as we thought they were. Mm-hmm. Kansas City is 6th offensively and 8th defensively. Have you and I just been absolutely sleeping on the Chiefs this entire offseason?
Again, we might be. We just might be. I think that we are maybe discounting Patrick Mahomes a little bit too much to say that he can just get anybody the ball. And as long as they've got 2 hands and the ability, and the sticky gloves on, they can catch, right? So if he can place the ball well enough and still has that ability, because it's not like he had an arm injury, so he tore his ACL. So as long as he is still Patrick Mahomes out there and can be 100% of himself coming back from this injury, and it seems like by all accounts he's going to be, then just throw it up to anybody and they'll be able to get it. And maybe that's what we're not accounting for. Because I keep saying that the reason I don't like the Chiefs is the cast around him.
Right.
And maybe he doesn't need a great cast. Like, I keep going back to the fact that on 3rd down, he always needed Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce's old. They gave him a farewell, essentially a farewell contract. This is your retirement tour type of thing.
I still think he should take her name.
Well,
I think a T Swift jersey should be, I think that would be the highest selling jersey in NFL history.
It could be. And so that's why I don't know what they're going to do offensively. That's my biggest question mark. Defensively, they could be great.
Okay.
But I've got offensive questions about them.
So you got 2 teams in the AFC, Kansas City and Baltimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Rams are 1 team in the NFC. As I sit here and look through the other teams in the NFC, who could be that second team? Like if I'm trying to find a Final Four, right? Kansas City and Baltimore play, and then who would play the Rams?
Yeah.
The team that has the lowest, from what it looks like, ranking in both, I think it's Minnesota. Minnesota is ranked 10th on defense and 12th on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else in the NFC, the rankings are way off. Like Chicago's defense is really bad. Dallas's defense is really bad. Mm-hmm. Seattle's offense ranks lower. They're 21st on offense. Philadelphia's offense, 16th,
mm-hmm.
right? Like most of the teams in the NFC are not well balanced.
Yeah.
Let's see. Green Bay is 10 for offense. Where's Green Bay on defense? Green Bay on defense is 23rd. The only team that is sniffing both offense and defense near the top 10, they got one as defensively they're 10, Minnesota, and they're 12th on offense.
But again, offensively.
So are we sleeping on the Vikings as well? Like we're sleeping on Kansas City.
I think Minnesota is a huge question mark. You've got a brand new quarterback in a brand new system. We have no idea what Kyler Murray is going to look like with Kevin O'Connell. Like, they've got great weapons. Like, it's the complete opposite of Kansas City.
Yeah, right.
Great
That's what
weapons.
I'm saying.
Great weapons. I have no idea what Kyler Murray is going to look like with Kevin O'Connell. But with Kansas City, I know what I'm going to get from Patrick Mahomes. No idea what his weapons are going to look like.
So there you go. That's from the Action Network. 13 days away from the start of the NFL season, the summer of football. We will continue to preview the football season with our good friend, the Fat Jack. Oh. He's coming up next. Football is back, and something big is coming. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives.
New DraftKings customers sign up with code B&A26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That includes all markets.
That's code BNA26 for Bleck Abdalla 26. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut. Call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involve risk of loss. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. $50 in rewards issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable. Terms at dkng.co/offer. Limited time offer. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
College football is back this weekend. Headlined by Bill Belichick in North Carolina facing TCU. And we've got the game live from Dublin, Ireland. So grab a Guinness and listen on the Westwood One Sports app. TCU, Carolina, Saturday at noon Eastern. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
We were just talking about here on the show how we're 13 days away from the start of the football season. Boy, it's right here. We're ready to go. 13 days away from the start of the football season. Not only that, 13 days till the start of the NFL season. We have college football week 0 coming up this weekend. Next weekend, the full slate of college football. We have preseason action tonight. You know, like a part of what I love about the football season is routine, right? Rhythm, routine, and the way the week kind of flows and previews all of the football. And here on the show, we welcome back the Fat Jack to join Bleck and Abdalla weekly here on Westwood One Sports throughout the season. Let's get to him, our good friend, the Fat Jack.
It's time for the Fat Jack.
This is America, Jack.
Over 25 years of experience helping take your sports betting to the next level.
Straight cash, homie.
Here's Bleck and Abdalla with the Fat Jack from FatJackSports.com.
Money won is twice as sweet as money earned.
On Westwood One Sports.
That's right. Here we go. Football season is here, Abdalla. It's time to get ready. Make sure you go to FatJackSports.com. Sign up today. We have talked to Jack for many years. When we were hosting in Chicago locally, Jack would join our show every Thursday. He will join us at 2:20 Eastern every Thursday throughout the football season. Jack, welcome back. It's been too long since we've talked.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? Yeah, I love the new gig, love the new surroundings, and excited about football season. If you're a degenerate, you're 2 weeks behind. I mean, the preseason's been going, so if you want to sweat out some guys that'll be selling insurance or back in college here in a couple of weeks, then you've already been getting after it for 2 weeks. But you're right. We've got week 0 tonight, and NFL coming up here in less than 2 weeks. So exciting time of the year for sure. Everything good with you guys?
Jack, everything is fantastic. We're having a great time here on Westwood One Sports. We're so thrilled that you decided to join us for the season. So we can't wait to start talking some football with you. And we've been talking football here on the show. In the last 20 minutes, we were trying to figure out, hammer down the teams that have been overhyped and some of the conversations we've had over some of these NFL teams in the offseason and who will really produce. And I think the number one team on everyone's list when it comes to conversation in the offseason and the hype machine has been the Los Angeles Rams, right? Like, they're a team that almost got to the Super Bowl last year. They have an MVP at quarterback. They make a trade for Myles Garrett. Is there too much hype on the Rams heading into this season?
So I think, we've been doing this a long time, and you're right. I mean, you got to first identify who the general public likes too much, or the adverse side of that, who they don't like enough. The Rams are the poster child for they're going to be great. I think it's rightfully so. They do pick up key players on defense. They still have Matthew Stafford. This is a team that's loaded. The problem with their numbers is that if you like them at all, you're not getting any value to bet them to do anything. They're 5-1 to win the Super Bowl or so. They're worse odds to do anything else better. And unless they get injured, you expect them to be in the conversation. I would look, if you're looking in that division, let's look at the champs. All right. Can we honestly look at Sam Darnold and say look him in the eye and say, this is a back-to-back champ? I mean, they got there in such a way that I just really think he honestly should be, working at the library as opposed to leading an NFL team. The guy did great. Very excited for him. That was the first team in NFL history that had a new rookie head coach or rookie quarterback starting to win the Super Bowl. It's never happened before. So they were in uncharted ground. So if you think that the Rams are going to be halfway decent, it needs to, if they're not going to be good, it needs to be because the other people, at least in their division, are going to be really good. I don't think that's the case. I think Seattle steps back. I think San Francisco steps back. When you start looking at the injury risk projection, which is a formula of teams that should have more injuries than others, San Francisco is very high on that list. I think Seattle has trouble staying healthy. Their receiver, for him to have even a similar year, is going to be ridiculous because he led the league in receiving, down the field, passing yards, incredibly efficient. I think he steps back. Look, for those two teams to come back a little bit, I think the Rams, rightfully so, have received a lot of hype.
Jack, another team that we're very high on, and it scares me that Chris and I are very high on, a lot of people are very high on, are the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys aren't even favored to win their division. I know, right? It's scary.
You guys.
I'm nervous. Jack, I'm nervous. They're plus 205 to win their division.
I knew we were wrong. I
know we're wrong, but for some reason this year, I can't quit the Cowboys.
We love the Cowboys, Jack.
I can't quit the Cowboys this year.
See, Jack, you know what happens when we start hosting a national radio show?
It's Lakers and Cowboys. That's all it is, man.
Yeah. That's right. You start listening to the peeps out there. The Dallas Cowboys, guys, they're like a really good-looking girl who can't dance and isn't going to be faithful. You can't trust her, right? She's not somebody you take home to mom. Dallas hasn't been good. They haven't won 2 playoff games since I was like 33 years old. I was literally 400 pounds, couldn't sit in one seat on an airplane. When's the last time Dallas did anything? We didn't have the internet. I know that. They have not won 2 playoff games since like 93. No, do not. Even if you're listening, if you can look but don't purchase, do not take the good-looking girl that is not faithful home to your mom. You can look but don't touch. Leave her out there to in the pasture until they do anything. I'm not going to buy you want to talk about hype? I'm not buying that hype. I like when I'm looking preseason, I like teams that are overhyped that I can see why they're not going to be as good this year. I'm certainly not trying to pick a team that I like a few players or my fantasy draft will benefit from and then try to make them a great team for 17-plus weeks.
The Fat Jack joining Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Make sure you go to his website. Sign up today, fatjacksports.com. Jack, when we talk about distractions in the offseason, we've spent a lot of time on this show talking about Mike Vrabel and his off-the-field situation. Do you think the distractions with the Patriots will actually bring them back from what we saw last year? Is there hype around the Patriots? What do you think about the Patriots heading into this season?
By the way, it took 6 minutes at Westwood One for me to roll my eyes and throw up in my mouth because you said you like the Dallas Cowboys. It literally took 6 minutes.
I just like them to win the division. That's it. I don't think they're going to do anything in the playoffs. I just like them to win the division. That's
See, we're off to a great start. How about this?
All right. Exactly. Yeah. Listen, what a great team. If you're talking about teams, by the way, guys, if you're married, I've been married 33 years. If you're married, get a self-driving vehicle, or at the very minimum, understand that if anybody asks you to get in the hot tub, and man or woman, for any reason at all, that you go home. You leave the office, you stop watching film, and you go to your house. You don't do anything different. It certainly is not helping them in the off season. The reason I like New England under, and I really like them, they're kind of my favorite play to regress back to the mean. We've talked about the NFL as a body, as a whole, that you're never as bad as you appear. You're never as good as you appear. A lot of parity in the league. And a team like New England, I think, is an absolute great example of a team that everything kind of went right for them, and they don't expect it to be as lucky in a lot of the randomness of the NFL this season. Like, they go 4-13 2 years in a row. Now they're 14-3, but in that 14-3, guys, they were 8-0 on the road. You probably have talked about this, but they've 8-0 on the road. Nobody goes 8-0 on the road in the NFL. When they got toward the playoffs, they're facing backup quarterbacks. They're getting the best of the injury stuff going on. They were relatively healthy during the latter part of the season. So everything kind of broke well for them. Their numbers 10.5. Mike Vrabel's not going to play it down, and I do think he's a good coach, but that distraction certainly doesn't help. But I think the randomness of what happened to them going on the road and winning all 8 times, and I put the Bears in that same category. Teams that play really close games and were really good in close games. So the Bears 8-4 in games decided by 1 score. 3-point games, very, very close. We remember the end of the season when they're throwing bomb passes to win games late. Those things don't continue in a league that has so much parity year in and year out. So when you're looking at season win totals, look there and look for those teams to go under. The one thing you didn't hear me mention at all are injuries, which are on your side when you're talking about teams going under their win totals, like New England, like Chicago, also San Francisco, I think, goes under. Those type teams, you don't even, if they get a key injury, that's good news for you. Where if you like Dallas, even to win their division, CeeDee Lamb goes down, the quarterback goes down. Now where are you? So I like to, if you're going to be tying up money all year long, I'm going to bet more unders than overs for sure.
Jack, one team I think that Chris and I are being accused of sleeping on is the Kansas City Chiefs. Every time that we get a list, it seems like the Kansas City, they're going to have a great offense. They're going to have a great defense. But I just don't like their weapons this year. Travis Kelce's old. He's a married man now. And Chris thinks it's a sham of a wedding. He keeps hating on the wedding.
I think it was all for show, Jack. I think it's for personal gain, for Kelce to become the next great action movie star.
Jack,
I think that's what it is.
I just see 2 people in love. That's all I see. And I see a quarterback that's coming off of an ACL tear. I see a new offensive coordinator who was back. I mean, he's back, but he was there before. He was gone, and now he's back. I just don't like Patrick Mahomes' weapons. Yes, he's Patrick Mahomes, but he is coming off of an injury, and they're the favorites to win their division. They've got a good number to win the AFC. I just don't think they're going to be as good as everybody thinks they are. I don't even think they're going to be second in their division. I see them more as third place in their division. Are we wrong about the Chiefs this year?
So you're saying yes to love, but you're not saying yes to Kansas City. I would have reversed this with you guys. Having known both of you for years, Chris, you seem like the more optimistic. You would be saying yes to love. You would be dancing to Taylor Swift hits and spinning your wife around, all that kind of stuff. No, you're a cynic. You're like, no, this is also he can go be a Marvel action hero here in about 8 months or so. And Adam's the one saying yes to love. I believe absolutely the marriage is not a sham. I think that they are in love. And more importantly, I don't think it has anything to do with football. Father Time is undefeated for sure. But these two have many ways to be distracted. She's showing up to get. She didn't have to come to games. If he was one of those looking up there getting signs from her and stuff, I might agree that the wedding would have something to do with it. Like kids do with their dads or in the stands. If it was that situation where Taylor Swift's firing out some signs, maybe. I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think Kansas City has a chance to be really good. They shore up the running game. Kenneth Walker is they've been running by committee for the last 2 or 3 years. Their defense, Spagnuolo does not get enough credit. He really doesn't. They had one of the best defenses in the league the last couple of years, and it kept them in games when they had all these injuries and weren't efficient at all down the field. They are getting the receivers back. They're 17-1 to win it all. And anytime you're looking at season long bet. I'm never going to put a dime on the Rams this time of year. I will look at a team that's 20-1 or better, because if I just make that good decision now and they make the playoffs, I can take advantage of that once we get in the playoffs with hedging them back or rolling over some other things. And we'll talk about that as we get closer, because I do think Kansas City will be back. I also think Denver, we talked about regression earlier. I think they regress back to the mean a little bit on how well things went last year. Most importantly, Kansas City's problems should be on defense early. They have 6 new defensive starters. That's a ton. 3 in the secondary. So I think that may take a little bit of time to get going, but I think they're going to build weapons around Kelsey. I think we forget how good Mahomes was because we don't want him to be good. Unless you're a Chiefs fan, who's pulling for Kansas City? Most people, especially if you don't like Taylor Swift, don't want Kansas City to win anything. They were happy last year. So I think there's a little bit of that out there. I think Kansas City actually is better. I would early in the year bet their team total more than I would be laying points for them to cover numbers, because I think the offense does click. It hits the ground running. Defense might take a little time to catch up, but I think Kansas City's points are going to be there. By the time we get the playoffs, defense catches up. I think they're a dangerous team.
The Fat Jack joining Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Make sure you check out fatjacksports.com. Sign up today. So, Jack, when we look at teams, a part of the conversation in the offseason is the phrase, if they stay healthy. To me, the number one team that could be good if they stay healthy would be the Cincinnati Bengals. What's your read on the Bengals heading into this season? It feels like kind of like a win now or else situation for Joe Burrow, for Zach Taylor, for the entire team.
Yeah, all of that's right. You know, there's this thing called the injury risk projection. It's basically a formula where you look at the last 3 years of injuries on that team, along with the health to start the season, the age of the roster, the schedule, their travel, when they get to rest, and actually home field surface matters in this formula, whether they're playing on turf or natural grass. If you look at this, and then they apply a number to all the teams in the NFL to kind of give you a projection on how healthy these teams are likely to stay. This year, Cincinnati has the best rating to stay healthy. It doesn't have a ton to do with where the injuries have come from in the past, but based on those type of things, they're supposed to stay healthy. They also have the second easiest schedule this year. So as you can tell, I absolutely am bullish on Cincinnati. I think the rest of that division does take a step back. Cleveland's going to Cleveland. Baltimore changes coaches. I've had a man crush on Tomlin for years. From a gambling standpoint, this dude was money for the better part of a decade. Now he's gone all of a sudden. McCarthy looks like somebody that I should be playing golf with. I mean, I don't trust this guy in the playoffs for sure. And so I think that division steps back a little bit. I think Cincinnati will stay healthy, and offensively, for sure, they have all the necessary weapons. So they're one of those teams, and you're getting 21-1 on them to win the Super Bowl. So they are one of those teams, especially if they stay healthy. Teams like Cincinnati, Baltimore, Indy, Minnesota, and the Chargers, they're all really good scores on the injury risk projection. Teams you might want to steer clear of that are forecasted to have more injuries, teams like Arizona, San Francisco, the Bears, the Giants, and Miami. So just a little bit of that extra information that if you're doing your fantasy drafts this week, pick a player at Cincinnati or Baltimore before you pick one at San Francisco or the Giants.
All right, Jack, when you were joining us on our show in Chicago, every year before the season kicked off, you would give us a long shot to win the Super Bowl. And we would ride this all season long. We've been great at it. You've been great at it. Every single year we've gone with Buffalo, we've gone with the Bengals, we've gone with the Rams, we've gone with a bunch of teams that have made it far. We end up making a bunch of money. We cash out. It's been great. I've taken upon myself every single year to try to guess this team leading up to the regular season.
Jack, you should see Abdalla's like in the middle of June, sitting here in the studio trying to figure out where Jack will go with his preseason pick for the Super Bowl. And he's got all of these different theories and ideas. He's been working on this pretty extensively for the last couple of months.
I think I figured it out this year. And I've got next week to get it right, too. So I'm going to my first guess. I think, and I know you said they might regress. They won a lot of games last year, a lot of games. And they might have won the Super Bowl last year if their quarterback's ankle didn't shatter. I think you might be going with the Denver Broncos at 20-1.
See, I was starting to worry because you're putting in the work. I haven't talked to you. I didn't talk to you in the offseason. Normally, I tip my hand a little bit, and then you fire out with a team that is absolutely not even close, not even on the radar. In fact, I think Denver regresses back. I think they could be a very similar team, but they win 3 fewer games. So we're 0 for what? Next week, we'll give these out because you're right, guys. These are teams that the Rams, we had the Rams at 21-1 or 22-1 when they won it all. The other ones, we have not missed. We had Philadelphia when they went all the way to the end. And I've had some of these during this segment that we've been able to ride all year and make some money from. And so next week, if you want to, we'll give them out. But that is no horrible, horrible pick. Not even close. Back to the drawing board. We've got a week.
He spent months on that. He's like, I'm not kidding you. It was like 2 months ago. He goes, I think Jack's going to take Denver.
I think Jack's going
to
go with Denver.
What?
I'm like, they added a good wide receiver. That's usually a trend that he goes with. I was like, all right, it's going to be Denver.
All right, Jack, before we let you go.
The ultimate revenge is if Denver does really well and I don't like them. So that's also, you got that going for you if they had a great year.
Is there anything we need to know for week 0? Is there any college game that you have your eyes set on for this weekend, week 0 in college football?
For sure. The number one thing of week 0 is don't go crazy. You've got to tiptoe in. Acknowledge the fact that most of these teams have a lot of turnover with the portal, with NIL, and all these things. So don't go crazy just because they're real football games on TV. That's number one. We'll talk all year long about responsible gambling, building money management, building profit as we go through the year. And one of the biggest mistakes that gamblers do this time of year is they bet over their head, over their means. They all think they're Kenny Rogers. They're wearing gold chains, hanging out at the big wheel, trying to get it done early. But if you're going to play these games, underdogs and unders are where you want to live mainly. All right. So even in Ireland with the game between TCU and North Texas, underdogs have won this game 3 times. They're 4-1 against the spread the last 5, and it normally sets up for a bad season if you lose this game. We saw Florida only win 2 games after being upset a few years ago. Kansas State went on to be 6-6. So be careful with that. If you're going to play favorites this week and next week, they're over 36-point favorites. That's where you want to look. Big favorites heading into this week 0 and week 1 cover at a very high rate. In fact, they're 18-5 against the spread over the last 13 years. So 78% cover rate, which makes a lot of sense, right? If you have big favorites, you have that discrepancy in talent. Some of the teams are paying a lot of money for their rosters now, and some of them don't have the money to pay. So those big numbers are paying off more times than not. So just a few general things to get you going. Most importantly, don't go crazy early in the year. If you're not going to FatJackSports.com to get signed up, you definitely want to tiptoe in over this first couple weeks of the college football season.
Yeah, I was going to say the game in Ireland, North Carolina, TCU, seeing Belichick over there getting off the plane today. He looked grumpy as ever. So I don't know if that means that the Tar Heels are going to be successful this year or not. Jack, if our great listeners who have listened to you throughout the years are listening to us here on the Westwood One Sports Network, go to your website, fatjacksports.com. What will they receive when they sign up?
Yeah, anymore, you don't know whether it's Belichick's having dating issues with his girlfriend that might be dating a student, or you know that they've got actual issues that are going on in the field, but he's going to be grumpy until further notice for sure. A team to watch before you start wagering on. In the meantime, we actually have plays going out 8-4 in the preseason so far. All the plays are posted and documented. That's the most important thing. 100% transparency. They're all posted at fatjacksports.com. Under the results tab, you'll see all 8 wins, all 4 losses. Every play that we play and send out is in a private portal. It's emailed to you. Nobody's calling you back. No underdog upsets of the century, anything like that. Just solid plays that are sent to everybody, whether you play $50 or $5, whatever you play, you get the same plays. FatJackSports.com. Apply common sense when you go there. That's the most important thing. In this world, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I don't do anything like that. This weekend, because it's week 0 and I want you to tiptoe in, only $69 for this weekend's games. Everybody gets the same ones, $69. We made 5 games of profit last week in soccer, over 30 games in soccer in the World Cup over the summer. So those plays are there as well. Players props are there. Everything to get you consistently building a profit while you're playing the games this year is at fatjacksports.com. Go there, get signed up, and have a very, very good, healthy football season for sure.
Thank you, Jack, and we will put our minds together and we'll figure out who your pick for the Super Bowl will be, and we'll talk to you next Thursday at 2:20 Eastern right here on the Bleck Abdalla Show. Thanks for joining us, and it's good to talk to you again.
Guy, great to talk to both of you. Fire up football season's here. You guys have a great week. I'll see you soon.
There he
Thanks,
is. There's
Jack.
the Fat Jack. Go to fatjacksports.com. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Who's the most must-watch team in the NFL this upcoming season? We'll tell you that coming up next.
Tonight may be the last time this year we see first-round QBs Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson. Will the rookies leave a lasting impression to close out the preseason? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Check out the podcast of Bleck and Abdalla on Apple and on Spotify. You can also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bleck and Abdalla Show. The live stream's up there every single day. You can watch the show each day on YouTube, Bleck and Abdalla Show. Thank you to Raj and Roy for producing. Jim Rome, the Jim Rome Show's coming up in 10 minutes right here on Westwood One Sports. Hey, Abdalla, are you sick of lists?
Yeah.
Are you all listed out?
I am so sick.
I'm ready for games.
List season.
I'm ready for games. I'm sick of the lists.
Rankings and tiers.
How about this? I've
and,
got another for you. Ben Solak, friend of the show, on ESPN.com, put together his list of the most watchable teams ranking in excitement for the upcoming season.
Okay.
Watchable teams in the NFL. I'm not going to give you the whole list. Here's just the top 5. New England at 5. The Chargers at 4, the Lions 3, the Rams 2, and the Chicago Bears number 1 as the most exciting, watchable team for this upcoming season. Some of the things that he ranked as far as his list goes: big plays, competitive games, star players, and offense. So we are talking about the Chicago Bears number 1.
Once again, I'm not surprised.
Most watchable team.
Caleb Williams.
For this upcoming season. How about that?
Putting his leg up on the...
How about easy there with the leg.
With the new...
Speaking of the picture that's out there of Caleb Williams with the leg up and the crotch out.
With his come hither pose.
Have you seen all of the AI chat duplicates of the photo of different positions?
Yeah. I don't need any of that.
It is hilarious.
I don't need any of that.
Because you know that those fake photos they're going to go viral every single time that he has a great play.
Yeah.
And it's like
a bad play.
Like the one where it's all the different positions. Those aren't real.
No.
Those aren't real positions.
No. I don't want my quarterback looking like that.
It's so funny.
I don't need that in my life.
It's so funny.
That's not watchability for me.
It's hilarious. So let me look this up for Raj's sake. Where do the Broncos fall on the list?
Last.
Oh, 10th.
Oh.
No, the Broncos are 10th. Watchable. Yes.
All right.
Yes, 10th. Most watchable.
They should be fun.
Who does Solak say is the least watchable?
The Dolphins.
Should not be a surprise. The Cleveland Browns, 32. The Dolphins, 31.
There you go.
Tennessee's 30.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't work for you.
Listen.
Isn't there like a train wreck aspect to Cleveland? I'm envisioning Modkin losing his mind on the sidelines.
You're not wrong.
That could be kind of fun to watch.
I agree. It could be, because not only do you have Monken, he's there.
I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
You have Deshaun Watson. He's a big fan guy.
Big community guy, big city guy, big fan guy.
Big fan guy.
He's a big fan guy. So that's there as well. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. The American Red Cross needs blood donors now. Make your appointment today. Visit redcrossblood.org. Use the blood donor app or call 1-800-RED Cross. Yeah, Deshaun Watson's a big fan guy. So, there's something to watch
big
there.
Big community guy, big city guy, big fan guy.
I don't think he makes it past week 2.
As the starter?
As the starter, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think week 3 we get Shedeur.
See, here's my thought on that is Sanders has been so bad this offseason
But he closed the gap.
He closed the gap, but come on. You think about it. If he was somewhat competitive, they would have gone that direction.
Close the gap.
It just shows that he's not. and that's why they have to go with Deshaun Watson.
I understand that, but I don't think Monken doesn't suffer fools. I don't think he would say that.
Trying to get a sweet haircut.
He's out there. He's trying to win ball games, score points on offense. I don't think Shedeur Sanders does that.
I don't think.
And Shedeur killed the Pro Bowl.
Well, that's.
I mean that's what's going to go down.
I think that was good of him, though.
Rome is next.
This is Westwood One Sports.